Welcome, everybody, to a Delco Nerd Network podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Ragucci, and here with a few friends from the Delaware County area. We get in the basement and we talk about a certain topic. Today's topic is going to be the first annual DNNey's, here to talk about the best, worst, and our honorable mentions of movies from 2022. As always, the triple threat, Chris Trio.
Gooch, I'm happy to be here. I'm excited to talk about our first DNNey's.
How was the red carpet for you?
It was really good. I didn't wear my Gucci suit as I was planning, but I'm ready to talk and I'm
Always next year.
Yeah, next year.
Always next year.
Yeah.
And in the middle, returning for the third time on DNN, the inventor, the mastermind behind the Luke Kenney trademark review system, of course.
Oh, it's coming out. It's coming out.
Luke Kenney himself.
Yeah.
Welcome. Good to have you back.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Glad to be back.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for. I just want to say you inspired this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
You really did.
Did I really?
You did.
Yeah, we
You
did it last year, and it was just like, what did we watch? And it was like, it didn't really do well, but it wasn't really based around the Oscars, and I was like, so this is kind of like a more refined, reformed version of that.
Sure. We do our game of the year, so I mean, we might as well have some type of movie of the year.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty on these lists that I don't think the Academy even saw themselves.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
You know, I wouldn't say this is Oscar centric.
No,
I would agree.
and that's what I was just going
But
to say.
we will discuss, I guess, the Oscars and
Tangentially,
yeah.
How
absolutely,
can we
yeah.
not talk about Brendan Fraser?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
come on.
Look at this prophecy.
The rewind review,
Fraser.
we started the Fraser Science.
did.
We were there at the fucking beginning.
We got him the job.
We
Genesis.
really did. We're sitting at,
Dan
I think,
Aronofsky.
close to like maybe 4.5K.
All
on that
those
video.
podcasts, even the one with the bad audio, has
Do well. Yeah,
has
that's
good
right.
views. Every single one.
It's
so,
insane.
That was actually like to be funny about it, such a weird coincidence that
Yeah.
we did that very off the cuffly, and
Well,
was like, Luke,
I
you
do
wanna
think
this
it was
weird
like,
thing?
I think it was at the beginning, like right when I feel like we were all, because we would always talk about the Mummy and stuff, and I do feel like there was this
and then
kind
Doom
of like,
Patrol was, I think, probably on like season 2
absolutely,
by then.
and
or
I feel like
3.
a lot of his movies are like cult classics, and everyone was like, what happened to this guy? And it was like, we did kind of hit that perfect sweet spot, I think, for sure.
But before we jump into that, we like to talk about what we're doing, watching, playing. Probably not watching because we're going to be talking. This podcast is all about
Sure.
what we're watching. But I'll mention a few shows. But Trio, do you want to start off, or do you want me to?
Yeah, sure. I actually have been watching a few things. A show, 2 shows, and a movie. I finally saw Knock at the Cabin, which was pretty good. I'll give it to Shyamalan. He seems to know what he's doing in the way of like, I want a small budget.
It's the Shyamalan one. Okay.
Yeah.
I want a small budget. I'm just gonna make the story I want. I'm gonna do what I want. I don't really have to worry
Did he
about
film
this.
that around
like,
here?
I think so. Yeah, there's a bunch of Philadelphia references.
Yeah,
yeah.
As there should be.
But it was good. It was good. I do think like you're there for the performances on that one. The story itself is a little lackluster in my opinion because I don't know. They don't really give you a mystery at all, which I think was a bit of a miss. But I would recommend it. If you're bored, it's on Peacock for free. If you have that, one of many thousand
I'm not
streaming
getting
services.
fucking Peacock.
That's fair. I think that's very fair. There's about 18
I'm
Sponsored by Peacock.
I'm not
Sponsored by
getting
Peacock. Well,
Peacock.
actually, funny you mentioned that. The next thing I watched, the next thing I watched,
Funny you mentioned our sponsor for today.
the next one I watched was actually Poker Face on Peacock. It was Ryan Johnson's new series. Like, it's about
Yeah.
a woman who can tell when people are lying just because she can tell. They don't really explore that, and I think that's actually fine. But it's mostly a kind of week-to-week story. She's basically a private investigator and solves a murder. It's fun. I would recommend it if you're bored and have nothing really going on to watch. I guess that's not a strong endorsement, but there's some funny performances in it, some questionable CGI, and yeah, I'd say check it out. Other than that, last thing has been The Bad Batch, Star Wars. It's been actually a lot of fun.
I'm on the cusp of starting Clone Wars. I finished The Sopranos, which I'm going to talk about.
Fantastic.
And Clone Wars is my next endeavor, but I just was like, I feel like when you're watching shows, especially like 6-seasoners, like you need to give it like some space. I can't just jump into the next fucking commitment like right away.
And that's what's been nice about Bad Batch. It only has 1 season out, and then this next one has been coming out recently, so it's been a week-to-week show. But
Yeah.
Other than that, it's been really cool. I told you they use like Ralph McQuarrie's old stormtrooper armor for like the
I thought
TK
that was
troopers
AI
and stuff.
for a minute.
Really?
Can you believe that's fucked up?
No, I mean it's AI will take over, but. Yeah, it's very good. I highly recommend that show if you're bored. It's all just basically about the transitionary period between the clones and like going to a conscripted army and stuff like that, and the political intrigue behind it. Other than that, Hog Leg I finished up. We'll talk about Atomic Heart, which
That's
is
short for
soon.
Hogwarts Legacy, Luke. If
Thank you.
You
Yeah,
were not
apologize.
off.
What Atomic Heart?
Hog Leg. Hog Leg.
I said Hog Leg,
Oh, okay.
and that's Hogwarts
Hogwarts
Legacy.
Legacy.
Oh,
It's,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
See, he didn't get
No,
it.
we call it Hoggy in my house.
I did
Rob,
hear about
no, he plays Hoggy.
I kind of like that better. We might be stealing that off you.
That's
and
awesome.
then Resident Evil 4, but that will be a whole nother podcast unto itself.
Yeah, I'm playing all the same stuff as Trio. I've been diving a bit into Back 4 Blood, which is the Left 4 Dead
Clone-ish,
game
yeah.
that came out. Yeah, clone is probably a good word for it. Here's the thing.
Inspiration.
So obviously, I'm motivated by the achievements. That's the only reason I'm back.
That's your lifeblood, yes.
It's my lifeblood.
Yeah.
Multiplayer games are always scary going back to. It's like, fuck, I need 4 people. I need a squad that I can roll deep. People I can rely on. Well, guess what, guys? I don't need a squad because I can play it in offline mode, and the bots are fucking fantastic. They're better than people will ever be. So maybe AI is the future here. But yeah, that's actually being less grueling than I thought it was going to be. It's actually pretty fun. It's funny that like a multiplayer game, I guess in a future-proofing way, you can like 10 years from now, servers are offline. You can still play that game and have a good time.
Yeah.
Even though it's a multiplayer-centric
No,
game. 'Cause
absolutely.
we're all, what games...
Redfall.
No, something's being delisted recently. I'm trying to think of what it was. Something Ubisoft related, maybe.
Some old games, I know, but they're even doing
Right,
with
it's like-
Avengers. Like Avengers is going to be... I don't think you're going to be able to buy that after a certain day or something.
Yeah,
like
I
that.
think you're correct. The servers
Insane
are gonna
shit
be
like that,
offline, you
yeah.
can't play it. Yeah, but it's important that hey, at least if the servers go offline, the game isn't totally a brick.
There is no... We talk about this all the time. There's no reason for a fucking single-player game. I get it.
I mean,
You're
this
gonna be
isn't
online all
a
the
single
time.
player game, to be fair. But I hear you.
But you can play it.
Avengers.
You can play it completely single player, right?
Yes.
Back 4 Blood. That's what I'm saying. In that
But I
way,
think they updated it to be like that because why it was grueling us is like this game's hard,
yeah.
but the AI makes it a lot easier, and that wasn't a thing at launch.
So you could originally only play with people at launch.
Correct.
did
No,
not.
you could play offline, but your bots sucked. So they were really like you were just alone.
I hear what you said, but that's what I'm saying. So like, if you can play a game from like it was like Suicide Squad kills the Justice League. I mean, that's a whole nother thing now. But there's no reason that a game that you're playing that you can play completely front to back alone should need you to have a connection to the internet because like it'll brick it after a while. Like, what are you
Right.
gonna do? Like, it's so fucked.
And I think the only other I platinum Sly 4 Thieves in Time. That was pretty grueling.
Nice.
That was pretty fucking grueling, actually.
I'm assuming it sounds awful to me. Just I don't know. Based
game
off
was
like an
fun.
old.
The
No,
game-
yeah.
So they I don't know if you know anything about that series, but they leave it off in like a way that like sets up for a sequel. Dude, I think they could do a Sly Cooper game in one time period in Egypt because Sly is like trapped in Egypt.
Okay.
Long story short. And like they could like totally redefine that game in a way it's never been done, and it could be like a Ratchet remake, and they would have like another like gold mine on their hands. Insomniac or not Insomniac, Sucker Punch or whoever they decide to throw the game to. It's so weird that IP being like a PS2 mascot is like just kind of dead in the water
Dormant.
right now.
Yeah, really.
Yeah,
Nothing's happening with it.
Sucker Punch actually confirmed, and nobody has it. Like I think they were talking about something. Maybe Spider-Man, and somebody asked them if they were doing anything with Sly, and they were like, nobody's doing anything with Sly. So they clearly like have
But they
it.
still own the IP. Yeah,
Correct.
exactly. Okay.
Yeah, they're just not doing anything with it.
Interesting.
And then the last game I've been playing, Octopath Traveler 2 on PS5. It's the 2D 3D JRPG hybrid game. You play as 8 characters. That's why it's called Octopath. And like I played the first one like a year and a half ago. I don't know if you remember me talking about it.
A little bit.
Yeah, so like there's 8 people, and all 8 people have their own story, and you kind of experience the world and go around the world and find people. Very good. I like when a sequel is just like the same game but better. Like just quality of life, doesn't do anything crazy new, but just is like, oh, this is the first game.
It's a
but,
market
like,
improvement.
There's a
Yeah.
lot more improvements here. It's like they really thought about some of the systems and how the game works. But the only thing is the trophy list is easier this time around. But the quality of life of like, I can't see how many treasures are in this place and how many I've gotten and like all the shit. I'm like, well, why just not add this information? Like a bestiary.
I will give you.
Give me something so I can see like the enemies I've killed and
No,
you
absolutely.
can like discover weaknesses for them. I'm just like, why isn't this system in this game?
As a latent trophy hunter that I am now, barely scratching the surface, it does make me want to get trophies more when I have an easily trackable way to keep track of those things. Like you're saying, like I will agree with you. That's a major issue with a lot of games.
And last, just watching real quick, three DC animated movies. We watched Justice Society, World War II together. I watched Man of Tomorrow, the Superman one,
Right.
and Superman, Batman, not Public Enemies, Doomsday, the one with Supergirl.
Yeah,
And that would made me
that's
so...
a good one.
It is so good.
It's really
that
good.
made me excited. I'm like, I just can't wait until they get this Supergirl movie.
Is that the one where he knows all their, like, he has contingencies set up for them, or is that?
No, that is Doomsday. I think it's Apocalypse.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
All right.
That was...
What did you think about that film?
I'm kicking it over to Luke. I'm getting ready to do it. Because guess what, guys? I finished The fucking Sopranos and I watched Many Saints of Newark, and holy shit, what experience. Have you seen The Sopranos?
No.
Really?
Yeah. Well, you didn't, I guess, until what, this year? So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Shit.
it's never.
But, like,
never too
everyone-
late.
I
dude,
also have not seen The Sopranos.
You know what?
Okay.
Why I thought you probably had watched it, because Joey has watched it and ranted and raved
Joey
about
likes
it.
it.
Yeah, and dude,
I mean, I've just like the whole like mafia. I know it's like a family story. It's not really like like mob centric.
it's surprisingly less
Luke, I
violent
understand
than
you don't like Italian people. You don't
Yeah,
have
I'm
to
trying to be subtle about it, and I'm looking at Gucci. I'm like, I really hate this guy for who he
It's
is.
surprising how actually not that violent it is. There's a lot of like threats, but like there's not a lot of killing in that show. Like egregious killing. Like it happens, obviously.
It's used
And I'm
effectively.
assuming you
People
knew,
get whacked.
I'm assuming you knew the ending before,
yes.
So like
Did
you're
not-
anticipating that in the entire
Didn't
show.
change a fucking thing.
Okay, and did you watch The Sopranos and then The Many Saints of New York, or The Many Saints of New York and then The Sopranos?
The former, the first one. You can't watch that movie even though it's a prequel before. It kind of the movie like goes in on the fact that Paulie and Sil
I guess so.
and Junior, like you know these characters and who they are and who they become.
That's just like a prequel, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's not that good. But the ending is like Christopher Moltisanti has a line. I'm not going to say it because it's kind of spoilers. But like it ends with in the show they talk about Chris's dad, Dickie Moltisanti. They always bring him up. Never show him in flashbacks, but like he's like Tony's idol. And he's in that movie is like about him.
I see.
And he dies, and Tony's like at his casket, and like there's this like really cool scene of like Tony Soprano's born in that fucking moment. I'm
Interesting.
like, and the theme song kicks in, and it's like, fuck yeah, dude, I'm in on this. But what a great show. I don't know if they could make something like that today. Especially it's really like culturally odd too.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we're
Yes.
Okay.
you can say basically anything except
Okay. I
except
don't know the
racial
rules.
slurs, I would say,
I
or
want to
would
know the
be
context,
way
but
I
Okay,
like.
I'll let you insert yourself in a minute. Yeah, it's very funny to watch a show as an Italian who like, I'm like, yeah, this show's like my life. Like I understand.
You kill people?
I understand this show on like a facet I don't think most people watching it probably do, as like a Philadelphian Italian. I mean, I know we're not from Jersey. All right, we're from Delaware County
Sure.
here. We're Philadelphia suburb.
Yeah.
But like I'm like, yeah, this is, I know.
You're saying
I have
culturally,
aunts,
right?
I have
Not the
aunts like this and
crime-wise,
uncles
right?
like
Yeah.
this and cousins like this. I'm like, this is just my life. It was like that first episode. I'm like, this is like very familiar.
It's like the meme of the Vision where he's like, "I am Tony Soprano." Like, yeah. Maybe I am Tony Soprano.
But yeah, like it's got this like, and it's very stereotypical. Like it's funny they talk about like Italians being like in pop culture only being compared to the mob in the show, while the show is
They're
doing,
also in the mob, yeah.
doing exactly that. Yeah, it's pretty funny. But dude, definitely, I think that's a must watch for you, man. I think you'll.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
really
I've
enjoy
put
it.
it off for a while. I remember watching the first episode like a year ago, and
What, Mono fucking ZD?
and I don't know, it didn't click with me.
click, yeah.
So I mean,
Really?
Yeah.
It gets, I mean, it's like that's definitely the vibe of the show. It doesn't change all that much. It gets more serious at the end, and it's like it's funny because like all these characters are pieces of shit, but you kind of love them because of that. But then when you get to the end, when things start wrapping up, and it's like I really don't like these people, even though you do. It's Breaking Bad before it's Breaking Bad. It's the anti-hero. Tony Soprano's a piece of shit, but you
HBO
like
did seem to manage to hit those notes. Like that was the first like prestige television, and then I feel like AMC came along with Breaking Bad and was like, oh, we can do something pretty similar here too.
On network.
On network television.
Just with Mexicans and meth.
Correct.
Yes.
And a white
Instead
man.
of Italians and
but that first episode
mob.
grips you like Breaking Bad. Like
I
that
agree.
is, I think,
Yeah.
like the quintessential like lesson of like how you hook an audience is
Yeah.
that
in the
first
first episode.
Yeah, that show started
That show was
in
perfect.
2006, 7,
Eight,
something like
I
that.
think, right?
So the Sopranos was like just finishing.
2006 is when it ended.
And it's also funny to watch The Sopranos in like a pre 9/11 world, and then when
post.
9/11 happens, because like the Two Towers are in the
intro,
first and
right?
second season's intros. Yeah, as he drives out of New York. Yeah, what a
What's
great
the movie poster that they were in?
Spider-Man.
That's right. He was literally it was a trailer. He webs
Yep.
up a
Yeah.
helicopter
I think we
between them.
talked about that too.
I think we did.
Did we? Yeah, I think
yeah.
we brought it up before. Yeah, but I wonder how many things were changed or cut because of 9/11. I can think of 3 off the top, and we just talked about 2.
I think Family Guy at one point had like I don't know, maybe that's just
Like
something I saw,
like Twin Towers in something.
Yeah.
And they had to remove them. I know.
There was like a comedy special. This might have been completely made up in my mind, but I think like a guy did a comedy special. It was some famous comedian. I'm gonna Google this after. Made a joke about like a terrible terrorist attack on the Two Towers, like a week before 9/11.
Classic.
And it happened, and like I think it was gonna go out as like an actual like comedy special, and then they like canned it.
Yeah.
Because that might be a complete fairy
So
tale.
the other one I was thinking, Metal Gear Solid 2, it takes place in New York, and the Twin Towers are in it, and New York gets like fucking leveled by like basically like a big submarine thing. It's a Metal Gear, and like the Twin Towers are featured heavily in it. And they had to change the whole fucking game like at the end. I'm like, that's crazy.
that is nuts.
Like for a game too. Like forget the movie. You kind of just cut
Gotta
scenes
remake
out.
it,
Game's
yeah.
like a very different thing. But anyway, we're not here to talk about 9/11. We're here to talk about our favorite and worst movies of 2022 trio. I'll throw it over to you.
Well, wait. Remember I showed you that message?
Yeah. We're sorry. I forgot about it.
Well, the only thing that I've been doing in the past month or two.
I apologize.
has been-
We almost skipped
it's
over
fine.
you.
It's fine. I don't really have much going on. I don't really have much going on.
I totally apologize. But we did talk before the show, and Luke was like, "Yeah, I have nothing."
Yeah.
I just
But I
didn't
do
want you
have
to
one
speak, to
thing.
be honest.
I had to make sure I was able to say the term MILF on Twitch.
Oh,
before.
I think I know where this is going, but continue.
There's a show on,
Yes.
I believe, TLC.
yes.
And it's MILF Manor.
Yes.
No.
And it's one of
What
the
do you
best
think it
reality
is,
TV.
Gooch? Like, we just hearing the title. What do you think that MILF
A
Manor
reality show about hot moms like living in a house.
is? Okay.
Okay.
Alright.
Do you think that there's going to be men involved?
Yeah, probably like the kids.
What do you mean, like
kids?
the kids?
Like I don't know. Like they're mothers, so they have children.
But do you think it's like a dating show? Like it would be like a dating show?
Like, what's the
Yeah,
what's
like, if they're
happening?
MILFs,
Like,
then,
or is
like,
it just like following their lives? Like, what do you think it like?
like Real Housewives? Because Real Housewives, you could.
Honestly, I think they're just all in a house together living. Like I don't think it's
Okay.
a dating show.
Okay.
I think it's just a bunch of like stereotypically hot moms, and maybe the kids are involved to some degree, and they're
to some
obviously
degree.
older kids.
Okay.
You almost knocked that water over. Be fucking careful.
It was a touch. It wasn't that bad.
So MILF Manor.
Yeah.
As a viewer, you're introduced to all the MILFs, and they're ready to get back in the dating scene.
Okay.
So they all show up to the manor.
Yeah.
And
Where's the manor?
The manor is in Mexico. And they
do
are
this in America.
they are under the impression that they're gonna have a bunch of young guys at the manor to like date and basically Love Island or something with
Sure.
However, when the big screen door opens to reveal who the men are, it's each of the mother's children, and the
Sons,
children
like grown
have
adult,
to
yeah.
date the moms,
the other
other
MILFs.
moms,
Not
and
your
they,
MILF.
and they not your MILF, like. But you sleep in the same room as your MILF, like your mother who is hot. So if you have somebody in your room that you are interested in, your mom or your son is sleeping in the other bed. So there's about 9 episodes.
Luke, how you feeling about it? 9 episodes.
Did you
in.
watch all 9?
I feel like you hit me with like, dude, I watched The Sopranos. I watched like this, and I played middle, and I'm like, I've been, MILF Manor has really just consumed me. I mean, the finale was like last week, and I was very pleased with it. I don't think there's going to be a season 2, but
was it controversial? Would you say?
I don't think it was very controversial.
Was there a lot of sex?
It was implied that there was one sexual encounter.
One,
but they
in the same room with their mother and or son.
No, they left the villa, and it was like their own little. But they.
So
didn't
what
tell
was the
producer.
goal of the show?
To find love.
What
with
a weird
other MILFs sons.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
my mom's a MILF, so I should marry a MILF. You know.
I thought you were just confessing.
Yeah, at first,
my mom's a MILF. So I think
Mrs. Trio.
Right, let's get into
Let's get away from this. All right, God damn it.
Let's back that. For Trio's sake, we'll back that.
I can't believe I'm going to mention MILF Manor in the same podcast as Del Toro's Pinocchio.
And that is what makes the DNNeys so special. Anyways,
what a great opening statement.
I mean, yeah, that if I will give it to you if there was something you were going to bring up that you were watching.
Yeah,
I mean,
that
was
just
amazing.
hit me. I was like,
I had heard about that before, but it's even better now that you've explained it
it's
further.
great. It's great.
That was a great contribution.
It was.
You
Yeah.
know, I couldn't have done that.
Yeah.
I couldn't have done that.
You almost got it, though.
And that's why Luke's here.
Yeah.
Because he can't do what me and Trio.
Because I'll watch all the shit that nobody else wants to watch.
And then we'll watch the things that just everyone watches because we're plebs.
So I was teeing it off to you to kind of like intro us
yes.
a little bit.
So yes, welcome to the first annual Delco Nerd. It would just be the DNNeys. It wouldn't be the Delco Nerd Network. DNNeys. On this,
I mean, it technically
show,
would, but.
yeah, I guess it would be, but either way, on this show, we're going to be going through 3 sections here. We got our top 5 movies of the year. We got our honorable mentions as well. And then we have our shit shows of the year that we will also be going through patent pending on that. I guess we can't patent pending shit shows.
Wait,
but
what we're patenting shit shows?
I was going to say if we could, but we should get HR on that.
Yeah,
Probably
yeah.
stat.
Yeah,
It'll be a lot.
Yeah, I've already been talking to her about
Yeah,
it.
after that text, I apologize. She's going to send you that paperwork. But, yeah. So,
And the other stuff.
yes, correct. The hush money. But I shouldn't have said that on air. So, top 5. Gentlemen. Let's start with Gooch.
So, am I gonna go through the whole list, or are we gonna go one by one by one by one?
Yeah, I think that's what we should do.
Yes,
but if
Like you do top 5,
you do your
I
top
do top
5, he goes
too.
top
Okay.
5, top 5.
And then
we discuss as we need to, and you know.
So I do all mine.
Correct.
Okay. Jeez, a lot of pressure.
It's all right. I mean,
But
we
all of
can
your
we can
top
audible
5.
here.
So is somebody introing me? Like, is Tom Cruise coming down? And
I wish he was. He
making a
couldn't
joke?
make it. I called him multiple times.
Dude, he said he would skip the Oscars. For us.
I know.
All right. Well, speaking of Tom Cruise, how could we not start talking about movies from 2022 and not mention Top
I
Gun
apologize,
Maverick?
Gooch. Can I stop you for 1 second? Is this in any particular order?
No.
Good.
Interesting.
Good
Mine's
to
one
Wanted to
mention.
clarify. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mine is in no particular order. I think Luke just said his was.
Yeah, mine is not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
He's
I
not.
think so.
Yeah. Top Gun Maverick, guys. What can we say about Top Gun Maverick? I mean, movies are back, man. Hollywood actors are back. The 80s are back.
Everything.
Sweat's back.
I can't say anything about it.
Men are back. You know, guys. I don't know what's been going on with the movies lately, but like we haven't seen a movie like this in like probably like 15 to 20 years, where like everyone's going out to see Top Gun Maverick and everyone's having a blast. There's no controversy about it. It's a fun movie. It's great. It's fucking great across the board. I'm sitting in that theater with my dad, and that intro kicks on, and it's the same intro from the first Top Gun. And then I see Jerry Bruckheimer's name, and I'm like, he's fucking back, guys. He's fucking back. And I want to get in the aisle, and I want to fucking move these jets and airlines all across the place. Danger Zone's on. I was fucking on cloud 9 watching this movie from the like credits, and they roll. It's like, you know, the Top Gun thing where they talk about Top Gun, and I'm like, this is so fucking cool.
Would you say you were like a major fan of the first one?
No.
Because I'm with you there.
Not at all.
I was.
I mean,
like,
it's Top
I didn't
Gun.
care about.
I
really
mean,
the first one that much
what
at
else
all.
can you say about Top Gun?
No,
It's
yeah.
Tom Cruise and fucking
Val Kilmer.
and Scarrett. What's his name? Tom Scarrett.
Tom Scarrett,
And they're,
yes.
you know, there's a bunch of sweaty men, and it's kind of gay, and that's why I love it. You know, that's why you love Top Gun. You love that volleyball scene. Well, guess what, guys? We got that again, but now there's just one girl, and it changes the dynamic. We're playing football instead of volleyball.
Touch football, yeah.
Yeah, and Tom Cruise or Miles Teller with the, you know, come on, we've all seen the GIF, we've all seen the trailer. Let's be real. Oh, also, Miles Teller local guy, Downingtown boy. You know what? That's
Represent.
Chester County, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
He's one county away, guys.
Not very
One
far.
county
He's
away.
an honorary
He could be
Delco
on
Nerd Network.
He is.
Yeah.
Yes. If I ever meet fucking Miles Teller, I'll be like, dude, when he coming on the pod?
Yeah, I mean, he's. I mean, I got him in one of mine as well. We were talking
Yes,
a little
yes,
short
yes,
about
yeah.
that, so
But,
we
like,
can get into him a little bit.
I know Trio saw Top Gun Maverick. We didn't get to review this, and I think we've mentioned this like a few times. It kind of came out like at a weird time. I think like you were on vacation or
then
somebody
you
was
were on-
away,
yeah, it was
and it just
bad
like
timing.
yeah, like the timing was just kind of bad. But holy shit, like just great movie. I've talked to so many people about it, and it's just been like such a weirdly like happy conversation about this movie.
And I think I will give it just the accomplishment of like not being, superhero movies or whatever. I will like Avengers brought a ton of people, like Endgame, like when those big ones came out, they brought a lot of people out. But just to have like I don't know, just a run of the mill, like
movies
action,
were
not
back.
a run of the mill.
Yeah. Movies
we
were
have
back.
just
It's
an
not. It
action
doesn't
film.
have Jurassic World attached to it or
No,
Star Wars
and,
attached to it. I mean,
people,
Top
like-
Gun is its own thing, but like it's
For
still,
sure,
like,
but again, I will say that name alone did make me go like, I'll go check it out. But the trailers were insane, and I think they did a very good job of showing how visceral it will be, and like just kind of locking you in. And I mean, you don't go to the first Top Gun for the jet scenes. Can we be honest here?
I'm going to see Tom Cruise naked.
Correct,
and
and
with the other guys.
fight
Yeah.
with guys in the locker rooms.
Yeah,
And this
absolutely.
one, you're going for the fighting, and the flight. It's amazing.
Only somebody like Joe Kaczynski, Tron Legacy, Oblivion. He's like one of my favorite directors, and he's done like 2 movies.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand where Joseph Kaczynski gets off making a fucking fabulous film like this, and then like the last movie he made was Tron Legacy.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Well, wasn't Oblivion after Tron Legacy?
Huh?
I thought Oblivion was after Tron Legacy.
Correct. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Yes.
Which is a great movie. Have you seen Oblivion?
nope.
Tom Cruise is also in that.
I'll recommend that, yeah.
It's like a sci-fi movie.
Okay.
It's not great, but it's good.
I would say it's great.
I gotta. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Definitely worth a rewatch for me. But yeah, like really random director. Like, but I know like obviously like Jerry Bruckheimer's like I don't know if he produced it or like what his exact credit is in it, but kind of bringing back like an old boy, and Jerry Bruckheimer really doesn't do much anymore from what I
He's
understand.
pretty old.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't have much else to say. But
We
if
flew
you
to
have
the
to-
danger zone
I didn't
and we
see
loved
it,
it.
so.
Why? I'm genuinely curious.
So, I mean, I'm just not really an action guy.
That's fair.
True.
And
Yeah.
I mean, that's simply it. I mean,
That's
I don't
fair.
have anything against Tom Cruise or anything
So
like
when
that.
you, I'm sure when you heard it was good and people were talking about it, did that like
it
kind of
didn't
like
spark any interest in me. Wow. No.
Luke?
Yeah, I just.
I'm like kind of disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, you'll see like all of
You-
my
you've disappointed
entries.
me.
Nothing is action. Nothing is action whatsoever. So.
I mean,
Excuse me.
but like, but that's like a good thing, right? I feel like if we came here and we all had like the same lists, that would kind of suck
Oh, I
because
agree.
like it would just be like a circle
And definitely
jerk
some of ours
conversation.
are crossing.
Yeah.
Like Top Gun's on mine, so I'm kind of half talking about that with you right now.
Right.
About mine and
but,
this because
but like there, there's inevitably going to be one crossover.
For sure.
And I have one on this list that you probably guys are like, what the fuck? Like, why is this on here? But next up, of course, we got an early flick from last year, came out in March, The Batman, introducing Robert Pattinson as the titular hero. I mean, like, fucking, dude, cape shit can be real good sometimes. I feel like I'm going to try to, like, not talk about Marvel and DC as we do when we review it. I think, like, it's interesting to watch when a superhero movie kind of, like, enters the zeitgeist of, like, a Dark Knight, where like everyone is watching it, everyone's seeing it. Like superheroes are kind of brought back down to this, like, not that MCU isn't
reality to me. I mean, that's
In a
why
way.
I enjoy the Joker. Like I saw that, I liked it because I felt like that could have been a character that wasn't the Joker. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? So
Sure.
like,
No, absolutely.
You know, like I think I wouldn't. I think I would enjoy the Batman if I actually saw it, but
another movie Luke
yeah.
didn't say.
But then again, I don't like.
So
the Dark Knight,
again, same
so.
question. When people were seeing it and liking it, no sparks.
There was a spark there. I just never really got around to it, and then
Yeah.
I will
it
say-
lost its like fizzle for me. Like I
Sure.
was just like, let me watch something else.
even
Yeah.
people that I watch online that aren't necessarily fans of like the superhero stuff as it is these days, they were even like, oh, yeah, this is pretty good. And I don't know what it is about Batman as a character that allows that to happen. I don't know, like, because obviously something struck gold with
As
the Dark Knight.
As Bruce Timm said, there's a Batman for everyone. There always has to
No,
be a
absolutely
Batman
is.
for
But like,
everyone.
even on the fact of like that character name alone will bring you in millions of dollars. But it only goes
Right.
so far as Batman vs Superman shows us. Like, because that movie should have that did as well as it should have.
Released 7 years ago yesterday as of recording.
Yes, I needed to get that in there, of course. But it's just an insanely malleable character that you can interpret many different ways, and it seems to draw people in. And I don't know. I just hope. I mean, we're gonna get another Batman with the Brave and the Bold, which, you know, I think people can rightly so roll their eyes at that when they're like, fuck, another one. But that needs to be just as good.
That's the next live action Batman that James Gunn
connected.
And that's going to be the musical with Lady Gaga?
No, that's Joker Folie à Deux.
Oh, right. That's Joe. Okay.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I think it was a joke, but like it was also a serious question. I feel.
No, it was
It
serious.
went right over my head. Yeah.
I like the humor in it, but you were talking about Joker. There was a point I was going to jump off of. It's fine. I forget it. But yeah, we're getting like a year 0 Batman here, or like a year 1 Batman, technically year 2 Batman.
Literally, I guess.
Bruce Wayne's a fucking angsty dude. He's been listening to My Chemical Romance just a little bit too much. Something in the Way is all.
Oh my God, Nirvana.
He wakes up to Something in the Way. I mean, dude, I'm not a Nirvana fan. That's like the first time I heard that song.
Really?
Really?
No, I mean, I grew up. That was like my favorite band in middle school. So
I was not like I like some alternative stuff, but I wasn't like a Nirvana fan. And still I'm not.
Yeah.
But like that song, like, yeah, dude.
I really like the way what's his name? I forgot the
Something
director's name. He was like in an interview and he was talking about like his version of Bruce Wayne, and he was supposed to be more like a reclusive rock star, and like that's kind of honestly
that's what he feels
inspired
like.
by what's his name? Why am I forgetting? The lead
Kurt
singer of,
Cobain?
yeah, in some ways. So I thought his whole kind of thematic idea for the character was interesting, but I don't know. I do want to see a Batman that's punching Killer Croc in the face on screen once, like, and going like true crazy, like really leaning into the more zany insaneness.
I think
of
we're gonna.
Batman.
I think
we'll get that in Brave and the Bold. But
yeah, I think we're
still
gonna
did
go that
absolutely
way.
enjoy
Even
Batman.
with the Batman Part 2. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get crazier with the villains. Like I know a Riddler.
Yeah, I do
isn't
hope
really
it's not
there.
just like another Joker or just someone that like
Mr. Freeze or like Clayface.
I think your Clayface throwout would be like, I don't know how they do it in a realistic way.
Right.
And he seems to really be committed to keeping it pretty realistic, which, listen, I hope it's good.
What were you about to say?
Oh, I was just gonna ask if the Joker was set in like current day, or not the Joker, the Batman.
Yes, they have smartphones and stuff.
Oh, okay, because Joker
I'm
was
trying to
like set
remember.
in like the 80s.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
it's clearly like the 70s.
Okay.
No,
or
I think they're
80s.
using
'Cause there's-
smartphones and stuff.
Yeah, there's
in
something
the movie.
about like when a movie is like based in a certain era, and then there's modern. Not that Nirvana is
I
modern
forget
music.
yeah.
But I mean, there's a film that on my list that I'm gonna mention that where they're using modern music, and it's a movie that's based in the 70s.
That's a Baz
or like the
Luhrmann
60s, and it
fucking
just like
move.
takes me out of it, so I didn't know.
Really?
Oh yeah, it takes me completely
See, like
out of
I
it.
think for like just to bring up Baz Luhrmann real quick, and like with Great Gatsby,
I agree with you.
and like he like there's a lot of modern music in that.
But I think Lana
in the
Del Rey
20s.
fits that, like, she fits that mold of like the like golden era of Hollywood, like the way that she sounds. Lana Del Rey, wasn't she?
She was
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah,
a
so-
mainstay in that movie.
No, I agree. I do like a film that's like you almost can't pinpoint like what time period it is, and I think that can work, but that can be also like it almost sits outside the timeline. Like the old Batman series, the animated series, it was like they had like kind of some current day technology and cars, but there were these weird like gothic structures, and you really
Art
don't know.
Deco look.
Yeah, that's the word. I was
And then
looking
you go
for,
to
Art Deco.
Metropolis, and it's like the exact opposite, but they're in the same universe.
Yeah.
And it's like, when are we?
Yeah.
We don't really know.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, the Batman guys, fucking great film. Pattinson killed it. What a
that
great
jawline, man.
great cast all around. Great suit. Like, yeah, I like my dark superhero shit, so that's what I'm all about. And let's go to the exact opposite of dark people.
I can't believe this.
Number 3. And this is like a very rogue pick, and I'm going to
Yeah.
explain why. A Christmas Story Christmas in my top 5 movies of the year. A Christmas Story, we've all seen it, correct?
Absolutely.
Cult classic film.
Yeah.
Obviously didn't really do well when it came out, but kind of just garnered this cult acclaim throughout the years. It's, AMC plays it fucking
24 hours on
right
Christmas Day.
on Christmas. It's it's a staple in the American Christmas tradition.
Mm-hmm.
And then they decide they're going to make a sequel. And it's like, no. The Christmas Story is weird. Like it's zany. It's so of its time, and it just has this it's a strange movie. And then they're to hear that they're gonna try to like make a sequel and one up it, like, you know, I was like, no fucking way. And then it gets good reviews, and I'm like, no way.
Yeah.
And I watched it, and I was like, wow.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty damn good for a movie that, you know, it's not a direct sequel, but like
It's a legacy sequel.
Ralphie's older, he has a family.
Yeah.
His dad recently passed away, and like he goes back to that town and for Christmas, because his dad died.
Yeah.
So he, you know, make it easier for his mom, who was recasted, unfortunately.
Can't believe she's still alive.
Yeah, and that actress is still alive. Yeah, his actual mom that was in the original. But
Yeah, that's what I mean.
She's not in the new one. She was recasted.
Oh, you said she was recast. Oh, I thought you said okay.
Yeah, she was recasted. But like it's like very heartfelt. It's pretty funny, but like it's still like a family movie. Like it feels like it's not modern. It's in like the 80s because the original takes place in like I would
That
say
makes
early
sense. I didn't
60s.
even think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like in the I'll say late 70s. But like it feels good. It's like, you know, it's basing on
Wow,
nostalgia.
that really, I feel like probably works in its favor, actually, because I feel like whenever you bring these old sequel
Moderning
things
it
into
up,
do you ever watch Dumb and Dumber 2?
Oh yeah, Dumb and Dumber.
No, see that I actually don't even hate. It's
Oh,
the
okay, I
newest
like
one
that
with
one.
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
it's
Dumb
the
and Dumber
one with
2.
like
That's
the actual
oh,
follow
yes.
up with Jim
Yeah,
Carrey.
yeah.
It's just like it doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
like I don't know
Well,
what
I
it
hate
is.
Jim
But
Carrey, but
Right. No, but
what'd you say?
I hate Jim Carrey.
I think
can't
he's a
stand
pretentious asshole too. I like
Yeah.
him in certain movies.
what about
but
his buffoonery?
I can't say
Yeah,
his
I
buffoonery.
think he.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
I
can't
can't
take
stand that.
Yeah. Well, no, the story.
He thinks
sorry,
he's
quick
like some
side-
intellectual, like
Yeah,
Have you ever watched the like there was I watched a whole video.
Man on the Moon.
I think that's it.
Yeah, the
it's
one about Andy
him,
Kaufman?
Yes, and
Yeah,
like
that's
how insane he
unbelievable.
was with his like
Yeah,
daughter
that's totally
and stuff
inappropriate.
like that. Yeah, he's a psychopath. But anyway, look into that. I told my roommate about that, and now he's like, fucking wish you didn't tell me that because now I can't.
I don't know where it's from, but Tommy Lee Jones is talking about working with Jim Carrey on Batman.
Oh, yeah.
Forever.
Yes.
And he's like, and what's
So
the line?
okay,
Yeah.
Tommy Lee Jones is working with Jim Carrey on Batman Forever, and of course this is peak Jim Carrey, right?
Right.
And I feel like we've told the story on the podcast for sure. I thought we told you, but maybe not. Apparently one night Tommy Lee Jones was like out at after set, he was out at a restaurant and just like was sitting at a table by himself eating. He just wanted to be alone, and Jim Carrey shows up in there with his like entourage, and he sees him and he's like, "Oh, Tommy Lee!" Like he goes to sit with him, and he's just like hanging out and being Jim Carrey, and he's like, Tommy Lee just stands up and looks at him and goes, "I cannot sanction your buffoonery," and then he walks out.
I
And then that was it.
wonder who like heard that to tell that, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, he told that story.
Oh,
Jim
He,
Carrey
yeah,
told
he
it?
told that
Or
on
Tommy Lee?
Jim Carrey told that on Howard Stern. I mean, he could have been making it up, but I don't know. It
So
seemed pretty
funny.
legitimate.
Yeah.
So yeah, back to A Christmas Story, Christmas. Yeah, so it's baiting off your nostalgia. Obviously, Christmas is like, it's so funny being an adult and look, Christmas is all about nostalgia. The whole thing.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it's a very commercialized holiday.
Like, not even that, but like you like Christmas because of your memories as a kid. It's all about that.
No, for sure. I mean, I think that's a lot of things. You make connections and
Yeah, but like it's interesting. Like I don't know. Like I like kind of realizing it's like you like Christmas because you liked it when you were a kid, and like you have a bunch of memories focused
that's true.
around Christmas time.
And it's usually
whether
times
it's-
you're with everyone. You're
right,
hanging. Yeah,
whether with
it's
your
fun
family
times
or
with your family.
gifts, like you know. But
You get shit you love.
yeah, so-
getting a present.
So a lot of the characters come back, like his friends come back. Scott Farkas is back. He's a cop too, which is pretty funny. And they have like an interaction where like he's breaking into one of the guys owns a bar, and he's breaking into the bar to get like a star for his tree because it's broke and it's Christmas Eve and nothing's open. So he's like fucking breaking into this bar, and Scott Farkas as a cop catches Ralphie, and they like he thinks he's like gonna bring him in and like fucking book him, and he just brings him home, and they have this like very wholesome moment. And so and Ralphie also has kids and a family, and it's like kind of cheesy, and it's like not the greatest acting, but like the end of it,
But you would say it's far superior than a Hallmark Christmas movie.
yeah,
Okay.
dude, the end of it. So he has to write a eulogy for his dad for the paper.
Sure.
And he's a writer. Ralphie's a writer, and
Yeah.
like a struggling one at that. And he's writing like a sci-fi thing, and he's trying to, you know, pitch it to people, actually going to places and interviewing with his script. Again, the timing makes it great, but like the end of it is he writes A Christmas Story. That's the
movie?
eulogy.
Oh, that's actually pretty cool.
And I was like, oh my god.
Oh, that is
that's
cool. Like
pretty-
as a
yeah.
story. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty
Dude,
good.
I was like,
That's a meta thing.
I'm like getting
fine with.
emotional just thinking about it. I was like, oh my
It's
god.
kind of like War of the Rings. Yeah.
Dude, I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, what? I'm like, this is incredible. Like, this has no business being this like heartfelt and good. And it was kind of, what's that guy's name? The guy who plays Ralphie. He's been in other stuff.
I was gonna say, like, what has he been in besides? I feel like
he's an elf.
He's an elf.
Yeah, and
he's the fuck. He's
the tester.
Yes,
he's the one
yeah.
talking about.
Does he fall on him? Is that the one?
Yeah.
And he has some other roles, but like again, but it seems like all these guys came back and they were just like really like none of them really seemed to be like actors in any sort of way, but like they came back and they were like happy about it, and like I'm like listening to the interviews, I'm like, this is awesome.
That's cool.
Like
a money grab for good.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, and it was on HBO Max. Like, I don't think I would have went to the theaters to see this at all.
Sure.
I think like especially a Christmas movie, right? And like, we don't get like our Christmas with the Cranks anymore.
No,
and,
it's
like
true.
Our live action holiday films are like not really a thing. But yeah, very different movie, and I think that's why I put it in my top 10, because I'm like, this is not gonna happen ever again.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm ever gonna talk about a Christmas movie unless we do our Rewind Review Christmas thing, which I want to do at some point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Number 4, in no particular order, The Banshees of Inisherin, obviously an Oscar-nominated film starring Colin Farrell and not Domhnall Gleeson, Brendan Gleeson, right?
Yes. Professor Mad Eye Moody?
Yes, yeah. And I did not know Domhnall Gleeson was his son until watching that movie.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah,
That's
like,
interesting.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
They have the same last name, but you saw.
Yeah,
Banshees.
I mean, this is in one of my top 5, so we can just kind of. I mean, I'll just mention that it's in my top 5 when we get to me. But
you didn't see Banshees.
I did not. I've heard nothing but great things.
It very simple. I don't want to like talk about the plot a whole bunch, just because I think it kind of gives it away. But it's about a falling out between two friends, and I was like very like emotionally impacted by this, very like strangely.
yeah,
And this is I'm not gonna keep saying this, but I'll talk about it a little bit. So like basically the movie starts out, Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson are friends, and Brendan Gleeson.
well, you never really see that.
True. You just know.
You just know
that they
from
are friends.
all the exposition afterwards and stuff.
And he just decides, I don't like you anymore. We're not friends. No explanation.
And he's like, why? Yeah. And he's like, I don't. No. Yeah.
And on that topic, I'd only seen one trailer, or
I'd seen nothing.
I'd only seen like one trailer. So my impression going into the movie was like, oh, so like he's just not going to speak to him the entire movie, and he's going to have to try to figure out what he did wrong. Right. I like the direction that they took in the actual movie, because I'm pretty sure in the trailer, like it's mostly Colin Farrell, like, why is he like, and you don't see like Brendan Gleeson like really speaking. So I'm like, this guy's just like not going to speak the entire movie or something like that.
Right.
But,
yeah. So it takes place on a fictitious place called Inisherin in Ireland. So it's a lot of Irish culture, early 1900s. The way they say "fackin," like it's like "fackin." Yeah. Kerry Condon is great. And same with who plays Joker in the Batman.
Oh, Barry Keoghan.
Thank you. Yeah, he's great. He was like a close runner-up to get that Oscar.
was that the younger guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a good actor.
I suppose. Yeah.
He's in a lot
And
of
he
stuff.
hasn't really been around too long.
very
so,
recent.
Like
Yeah.
a fella like me, I don't know, I'm doing it in my fucking Australian accent, but that scene's fucking great. And so like the whole movie, Porrick, who's Colin Farrell's character, like he's just trying to figure out like what happened, and he's not getting a fucking thing. This whole movie, like he interacts with them a lot. They talk a lot. It's not like they're like Luke said, they're not like not talking. And
do you sympathize with Colin Farrell's character at any point?
Yes. And here's because this has happened maybe twice in my life, where like a friend who I thought was a friend like just decided they didn't like me, and I'm like, I know exactly what this guy is. And I like not one was recently, one was like when I was in like 7th grade, and like you just don't understand, and you're like trying to understand, but there's like you can't really like figure out why or what you did, and it's like you figure out. It's like,
sometimes it's not even a thing that you did. It could just be you guys grew apart. So. And
I found this like this very like cathartic, maybe not cathartic, but this like almost like therapeutical like view into like thinking about my own experiences with like friendship, and like I in my life, like I've retained like I'll say most if not all of the people I've been friends with like pretty much my whole life. That's very rare. And then to see like I don't obviously you don't know how long these guys have been friends, but to see like I'm just not friends with you for no particular reason. I'm just grew out of it. Like he doesn't really even say that.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But like you can and it's like this is insane. And like what ensues from that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And it's in like a very small town, right? Is the
Yeah,
idea. So
everybody knows
everyone
each other.
knows. And
Yeah. Oh,
Interesting.
there's a fucking character.
It's been on my list.
And
I just have to sit down and watch that by
She
myself.
runs
so
like
good.
I think it's the mail.
The post office,
post
yeah.
office, and she's like
She's nosy and
she's the nosy fucking Irish woman. You got any information?
So what I really liked the banter. I really liked the way it was written. It
Yeah.
reminded me. Do you know the author Raymond Carver? He wrote like short stories.
No.
Do you know familiar with the film like Everything Must Go with Will Ferrell? That's based
I've
on
heard of
I don't
it, but
think-
I've
yeah,
never,
where it's like
yeah.
he's on the front lawn and he has to get rid of like all of his stuff because his wife like kicked him out. It's just like a very simple story that like just escalates. I wouldn't say for no reason, but like just and going back to like the action stuff, like this is like my bread and butter. Like I love this stuff where it's like just this simple thing that builds and explodes. Like I don't want to really give away
It's
No, I hear you, yeah.
but
see what happens.
yeah, it's yeah.
I would like.
I'm very
but, like,
interested. And
one-
I mean, go ahead.
Sorry, one thing I didn't really. I understood what they were doing with the movie, but they were trying to use like the Civil War as like a motif.
Yes,
and it really didn't add much to the story.
That's the war with the
It was an Irish Civil War,
right.
I'm not even sure if
The
it was
IRA
fictional.
comes out of that,
There's
right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I
it
think
was the
so.
IRA and the yeah.
Right. So yeah, that is a backdrop of the film, not a
But
major one.
It
but
really
it's there.
doesn't like impact the plot
No,
at
it-
all.
it's
It's
just the
just
fact
like
that
it's
it's
like
happening.
a Civil War.
It's
You
just
got
set
this guy
during
and
that.
this
Yeah,
guy,
yeah,
and they don't like each other.
And
now, so.
it's not like there's people like getting shot and killed in
Yeah,
this
yeah.
movie. Like they hear the gunfire and the fighting from their island.
Gotcha.
But that could be something like you didn't really even need that in the movie. you
Sure.
know?
Right.
Interesting.
But I think the Irish culture of the movie, that's not something we really see a bunch, and I really like appreciated that. I think that made the movie better.
No, definitely.
I think if it was like British or American, it wouldn't have hit too hard. But it's the fact that it's like, these
that setting.
the setting and the people and the dialect, which was really hard to understand at first. And I was like, I'm struggling with this a little bit.
What are they saying instead of like, "Are you fighting with them?" They're like, "Are you racking with them?" or
Yeah,
something like.
yeah.
Are you racking with them?
Yeah, and then like everybody like, I mean, I don't even know if that was the roar, but like everybody like, "You're racking with him." I knew you're racking with him or something.
Yeah,
Like,
and again, they all know what's going on,
Yeah.
and they're like, it's like again,
Yeah,
like,
that seems like one I might have to turn on subtitles for, but we'll see.
yeah, no, I don't think I didn't. I don't like
You made it
subtitles
through, yeah.
during a movie.
I
but-
usually don't either. Yeah,
yeah, but it might help. But like I like 20 minutes in, and I was on tune.
I see.
But yeah, fucking must watch.
yeah.
the movie.
So that is in my top 5, so we don't have to discuss that again. But
Sorry, you'll bring
I
that.
mean,
No, that's,
if you want to, I don't want to,
maybe if something pops in my
Take-
head.
yeah,
and-
no,
your-
absolutely.
your
That's
stage
exactly
away.
how I was thinking. No.
Yeah, but again, it hit me in on a very emotional level where like I was comparing to this to like my own experiences, and like sometimes people just kind of do things and there's no explanation for it, and it really sucks. And you like
And there's nothing you can do about it.
yeah, and I don't like being in
sorry.
situations like that. And I was just like kind of like sympathizing with him like the whole way.
So I feel like that would be that's something that happens a lot when you're really young. Like when you're in like not even really young, like you're in like middle school, high school.
It
And it's
happened to
like-
me in
and,
middle school.
Yeah, and probably it definitely can still happen to adults for sure. But
and it
yeah,
like I had a similar experience, and it irrevocably changed our friendship, and we never were friends again.
Yeah.
Like we kind of got better after that, but like it was never the same because of like a spite, like just no
Interesting.
reason.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
crazy. And last, certainly not least, but obviously in no particular order, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And the reason why this is on
This
here,
is where I bow out.
yeah, this is where I leave. I feel like this MCU movie, I don't want to like harp on it. We have a review about it, but I think Sam Raimi coming into the MCU to direct a film and kind of bringing his auteur style to comic book movies was only a boon. I mean, I feel like this is the first like true comic book horror movie we've gotten. I mean, like maybe besides like Blade from the 90s, because like they're horror-ish, right? And it's obviously a very different time. And I would love to watch. I mean, we've talked about this before. Watch
sure.
Blade and for like a rewind review or something. But yeah, I just really like the auteur theme, the auteur cloak that is around that film, for lack of better words. I think it just kind of like brings it up a few notches for me. And I was kind of surprised to not see it on your list, Trio. And then in all, like, people not like, it came out, it did well, people liked it, but I feel like people weren't like praising it like I think I was. And I'm like, it's not because it's not really and nothing to do with the Doctor Strange or the Marvel point of it. I'm like, I think it's just like its vision is very nicely compact and tight and sound.
No, definitely.
And I think that's something a lot of comic book movies struggle with. I mean,
I would agree 100%. I thoroughly enjoyed that movie, and I do agree. I think, Sam Raimi definitely has a style in it. You get your screen turns, you get some pretty, I think, especially for like a PG-13, vicious deaths. I mean, fucking Black Bolt blowing his brains out is insane. I don't know if I'd call it a horror movie, personally. There are definitely horror elements. For sure. And I definitely feel like you can feel the strings of Marvel. And listen, I love that movie, and I thought it was great. I'd be very curious to go back and like watch exactly what I said on our rewind review. But yeah, I would agree. It just hasn't stuck with me. That
you mean hot take?
Hot take. I apologize. Yes. I did. I loved it a lot. I thought it was visually striking. It was cool to go through some different multiverses. You got that moment with a few little Easter eggs. I mean, you saw Professor X. Those are easy kind of nut tingles for me.
Yeah.
But those are kind of ones that are going to stick.
Remember Professor X? I remember.
But I do think that movie stands pretty well on its own, even without all those like cameos and such. So I don't know. Yeah, I agree. I think it's worthy of a top 5 for sure.
So, Luke, let me tip it over to you. Let's hear your top 5, buddy.
Top 5. Okay. So I saw whose list did this also land on, but it didn't land in the top 5. Oh, it did land in the top 5.
Mine, I think.
Or was it me?
Oh, but
are you talking about number 1?
Sorry,
not number 1 for me. Okay.
Yours isn't in order, right?
Yeah, I'm doing the. I mean, it's not in order of what I enjoyed the most, but I had Del Toro's Pinocchio in there. That I think is one of the best movies I've seen in like the past 10 years. Wow. I'm not even kidding. It was the execution, like the stop motion, the direction, the historical like inclusion and stuff like that. Such a unique take on Pinocchio.
Yeah.
In a very Pinocchio like heavy year. I mean, what is it? There's three Pinocchios in one fucking year.
Disney's live action
with Tom Hanks.
Yeah. The one with Pauly Shore that was terrible.
Yeah, that was a Russian production.
And this.
Yeah. And it just knocked it out of the park. I mean, like after watching Pinocchio, I went to watch Fantastic Mr. Fox again to see like what just to see like compare like, stop motion and like it is so fluid in Pinocchio. I literally can't.
It looks like animation at some point.
It's so really good. But I mean, that's all I have to really say about it.
No, I did want to put one. I mean, obviously, he did win Best Animation at the Oscars. And then the other thing, I think Guillermo del Toro works best when he backdrops a plot against like a 1920s war.
Yeah.
He does it in Pan's Labyrinth, and it works really well. Like I don't know
something I think about.
I think it is something. Where's he from?
He's from South America, somewhere in South America.
Maybe Argentina. I can't remember. Tamiras was telling me.
I think his like, and like obviously he speaks Spanish and he's a Spanish speaker. I think Pan's Labyrinth is set in Spain. I'm pretty sure.
Gotcha.
And I think he has like an intrigue with like I'll say early 1900s wars
and like history,
but like not World War I, like these small like skirmishes that were happening with smaller countries. I don't know. I feel like it's
Pinocchio was set against World War II though, right?
Yeah,
okay. I took them as Nazis. They were.
I guess it is. Yeah, no, it's
Mussolini. I was going to say Mussolini's in it.
Sorry. Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, it's clearly that, right? The Nazi regalia.
Yeah, sorry.
I think there even is like they include the swastika. I mean, I know a lot of games.
Do they?
I thought so.
Yeah. Like when Pinocchio's doing his little dance for Mussolini, I think a swastika comes down and there's like
it absolutely
does
out
or something. And
I will say, I don't think that's I don't think that's a rule
on
in Germany anymore. That I think you can show a swastika in a game now in a historical setting. But I don't know.
I feel so stupid for some reason. I think until the Mussolini bit came in, I really just thought it was like, like Italian fascism kind of comes into play in the early 1900s, even before World War II, as like, those like nationalist parties were kind of moving into countries just like, in Germany and obviously Italy. But yeah, I don't know why I totally blanked on the World War. It is World War II, but again, it's not stereotypically World War II. I think that's why I was a little like, Pinocchio World War II. Like it's not. It's really not.
Yeah. No. I think that movie it blew me away. I was not expecting to enjoy it how much it was. How much I did, and I I might agree with you. It might be one of the best movies I've seen in like maybe the last 5 years, just in the way of execution, story, and how it just made me very sad at some points.
Cast
and
was great too.
The cast was
Didn't
great.
realize Finn Wolfhard was
He was Pinocchio. I
No,
actually
he
didn't
was,
know.
No, he's a
the
Candlewick.
Nazi. Yeah,
Oh,
Candlewick.
I didn't know that.
He was
Nazi
actually
son.
a character in the original Pinocchio. His name's Candlewick.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's
what's his name
changed
was-
in the Disney version.
I see.
It's like
Yeah.
it's a like close but not Candlewick.
Gotcha. Who was
Ron Perlman.
No, the man who was fed his family in Game of Thrones.
Oh,
Ron Perlman.
What's that actor's name? He's in it. He plays the
Ramsey
dad.
Bolton.
Not Ramsey Bolton. That's who the man who Arya
Theon
feeds his
Greyjoy?
family to. The one that Arya feeds his family to.
Yeah, fucking.
He's the janitor in Hogwarts as
Yeah.
well. I'm trying to
Hoggy?
in what?
And Hoggy?
In Hoggy, yeah. No, not in Hoggy. He's in
Filch.
He's
He's
in Harry Potter.
Filch.
Yeah, he's
In-
Filch. I can't
yeah,
remember his
yeah,
name.
yeah.
But he's very
Walter
good. It
Frey
was not
and
something I would have expected.
Is
someone to
he
expect.
the?
He's the dad.
Is he Geppetto?
Yeah, he's Geppetto.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
All the models and stuff. Again, I just cannot get
The
over.
music
Also,
too.
the
Hey,
reli-
papa.
It's so
The
good. And I would
religious
not expect to enjoy it.
I'm gonna call them undertones, real overtones.
For sure.
The church in the beginning.
Yeah, well, he's like creating like a crucifix.
Yeah.
It's like very, and
He dies in a church. Yeah, it's
yeah,
his son died.
yeah.
Unbelievable.
It was very sad and very heartfelt, and not something I was expecting to hit as hard as it did. I
did,
completely
yeah,
agree.
That's on my. It's in my honorable. Well, is it in my honorable mentions?
I think you did have it somewhere.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna
All right,
say it's
so-
in there.
So I guess I'll move on from that. My second one was the Banshees of Inisherin, and then let's talk Brendan. Okay, we got the whale in there for a top 5 for me. Am I the only one that put the whale in the top 5?
It's in my honorable.
Okay.
I haven't
All
seen
right.
it still.
Okay, so the whale for me. I think Darren Aronofsky was like the perfect director. For
And you saw
something
this
like
recently too, because like when we started doing this podcast,
I had
you
not seen
hadn't
it yet.
seen it.
No,
so
I saw it
I'm
maybe
interested.
like a month,
Sorry to
and a
interrupt.
half ago.
Yeah.
But oddly enough, like I'm surprised that this movie or a movie of this subject matter hasn't been made before. Like it really is
What
like
do you mean, obesity?
like morbid obesity, where like obviously there's movies like Precious and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like
And
this,
like, what's the movie, McDonald's movie, even the other.
Supersize Me.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean
that
that's
was
like
more of a
that's
documentary,
more of
yeah.
a
Little
documentary.
different,
But
yeah,
like
but-
I think that with Darren Aronofsky's like direction, it was just a movie that needed to be made, and like I mean it's simple.
Yeah.
Basically, it takes place in one
It
spot.
takes
right?
place in like
Yeah.
one spot. The
Was it
act-
stage play? Was that
Oh,
correct?
I think it was.
I
Yeah,
thought
it was. It was
yeah.
before. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't
yeah,
mean to
'cause I don't
interrupt
think I forget who wrote The Whale. They might have? Did they win an Oscar or something?
Yeah. I mean, Brendan Fraser won.
Brendan Fraser. Okay.
I don't know
And
if
was
they
there
like the
anything else that it was
costume.
nominated
Costume.
for? Costume.
No,
And
wait.
makeup.
Makeup.
I
I don't
thought
think.
won.
I think Black Panther won costume. I think the prosthetics.
prosthetics and makeup or something
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
It
Oddly
won for that.
enough, like I wouldn't say like Brendan Fraser's performance like blew me. Fraser. I don't think it like blew me away. Sadie Sink was like I don't know. It was just like touching. It was like classic Darren Aronofsky, like dark lit, like looked like it was like fucking taking place in like a Saul bathroom.
Filled with pizza boxes.
filled with pizza
Yeah,
boxes
I
and
actually
chicken.
kind of agree
Yeah,
with
you
that.
know?
It's like, wow, this storm is like 5 days long.
But I mean, there's one. I have a critique, but if you want to go and sing its praises, if you have any.
No, I mean, I liked it. I think
I did cry.
I think I didn't. I think I have a very weird viewpoint of it. I felt very like emotionally unattached.
Okay.
I felt like I was just kind of like watching and observing. Not like, and actually no, I was judging, and I was just, but I was watching. I wasn't emotionally attached to, what's his name in the movie?
I forget.
Yeah,
honestly.
the Brendan Fraser's character. I wasn't like attached to anything that was going on, but I was watching and I was like I was like, judging these people and like what's going on. It's depressing. It's gross to watch him eat. I was like genuinely disgusted by like there's like 2 scenes where he's like gorging.
Yeah.
and it's gross.
Yeah.
It really is gross.
Yeah, like he has to beg for it, and like, you know, remember when
Yeah.
the chicken, the bucket of chicken is like in the kitchen, and he's
And-
like, please,
and
she won't
his
get it for him.
And his nurse like kind of like is taking care of him, but also indulging
his
him.
nurse is his ex-husband's, or not ex-husband. I mean, his husband that.
I would say
maybe
boyfriend.
Your boyfriend, but
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. It's kind of this is a big point, but the nurse is an important character to him, not just because she's his nurse.
Gotcha.
So she has like an also emotional stake in the game, but like
I see.
she's
best
taking
friend.
care of him, and he's like he's gonna die, and it's pretty clear from like the get go. Like this,
They
movie,
both know it. It's like impending.
This movie takes place in like a week, maybe like 5 days, 5 to 7 days. He reconnects with his daughter during it, which is played by Sadie Sink, and there's a few other points in it. But yeah, so she's taking care of him, but like also like indulging him and like letting him eat and let him do what he wants.
Yeah, it's brutal.
He doesn't want to go to the hospital. And it's weird. It's really strange. But again, I just got like, and when it was done, I was like,
Meanwhile,
Okay.
he is a professor, does online classes. His camera's broken.
Of course.
And then
Broken.
my critique is the reveal, where it shows like everybody on the Zoom call, and it's supposed to be like, well, look at this big, gross, creature sort of thing. And like, I don't think anybody would really react that way. I mean, he was acting a little strange when he revealed his face.
Yeah.
But I don't
You
know.
didn't think
I
that
think
stuff,
like
yeah.
the movie, like the purpose is to be
It's
like
a bit hyperbolized, maybe.
yeah, and
yeah, I think I would agree.
yeah, and like the the ending was like really touching. However, like the very end was like kind of funny. You know what I mean? Like the last shot. Like I was like, what?
It gets like very like, this movie's kind of like not monotone, but like it has like a, you're just watching a movie. It's not
All
like,
right, I kind of want to. Can you guys skip ahead like 20 seconds if you don't want to be spoiled for the whale? What happens? 30 seconds. I'll keep my hand up.
So
yeah, it's
until
on
until-
your top 5.
Yeah.
So he has this paper that his daughter had wrote about Moby Dick.
Okay.
And it's about how like the sailor in Moby Dick, he wants to hunt down Moby Dick and kill him, but like what is that going to accomplish and whatever. And he's very attached to this, and his daughter she doesn't like care for him or anything. She
Sure.
thinks he's like a slob or whatever.
Piece of shit.
And then he had wrote her an essay to submit, and I think she failed that essay. And then he had like given her. Oh no, he submitted the whale essay that she had wrote, and she failed. I guess it wasn't part of the subject matter that the grade was actually for. And he was like, read it. And she's like, I know what this is. And she started reading it. And then like he had all the strength in him to like finally stand up on his own. Like meanwhile he's like on his deathbed.
Yeah.
But he's
Yeah.
walking towards her and then like gets right up to her. And like the very last shot, Brendan's face.
It's not funny, but
Yeah,
you're talking
he
about
like
it. It's
he's like, ah, he like looks up and like kind of floats for a second and then it
I
ends.
think I actually did see this. Yeah. Is he on like a beach or something?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's so like a
yeah.
bit, but like
All
it
right.
just fades to like what he's like, ah. Okay,
and
resume.
And the idea
Yeah, we're back.
is that he dies.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I like that like the whole whale essay connection at the end where it's about Moby Dick and it's like what is this going to accomplish if you keep like coming at the whale,
Chasing the white whale,
yeah.
right there.
So-
Ahab and Queequeg and
Yeah, I'm not
Pequod.
gonna lie. I probably won't watch it.
Yeah, I mean, it's
just
not
It's,
for
not-
it's
everybody.
fucking depressing.
Yeah.
But
It's
I did want to speak to something here, and I'm kind of upset that you guys didn't bring it up already, and
Wow.
that this had some obese washing in it.
Obese what?
Obese washing.
What is that supposed to mean?
There was not. Brendan Fraser is not an obese person, and he played
Oh,
an obese
right.
person.
Okay. Yeah.
And
I
I
was like,
think
I-
it's
I
a
hate the
little
fact that you brought
ridiculous.
this up.
No, that was like, but I don't mean to
People
like.
get upset
There was
about
there was
that?
a
Yes.
small contingent. Yeah, there was definitely.
I mean,
like,
I don't
you know,
think there's
the
many
annoyed people.
700-pound actors that have
That's
a
not
dramatic
safe
range.
to be. That's not safe to be on set as a 700-pound person. Anyways,
Okay.
I think
Okay.
there's
What
one.
a ridiculous.
I will say, but like what you were talking about earlier, like I don't know why there hasn't been something made on this subject. I do think it is a weirdly like taboo subject
Yeah,
in
it is,
some
yeah.
respects of being like,
Especially
listen,
now.
I think you should be happy with like I would never suggest making fun of someone for their weight or doing something like that or be like. But like I do think there is this like point in the society where we're getting like just eat 1,000 hamburgers if you want and it's probably fine. It's
You're
like, well, that's
beautiful,
probably
right.
not. Like,
Yeah.
but I mean, you could do that. You have the total freedom to do that.
And
but you're probably not going to be
the
doing too well.
conversation, I think, is definitely more so in the women's circle than in men.
1,000%.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
Like I feel like in the last 10 years, it's like not that like
guys definitely get called fatties by other guys, but it's not the same on the internet for a guy. I think as a girl, definitely.
Yeah, it's a much different conversation.
Yeah, like
and-
stuff like
and-
that.
and, like,
that's a
and
totally
controversial.
that's a
But
real
either way,
different conversation.
it's
no, it is.
very like
But
controversial.
that was just
Yeah.
just my half joke and half somewhat answer that I think to that question. But what's up next? Now that we're done talking about obesity.
Yeah, so my no particular order. I didn't know if you guys had watched this or heard anything about it, but Nick Matarazzo told me to watch it.
Friend of the show.
Yes, friend of the show. It's an A24 film, After Sun. It came out last year.
Okay.
So it's a slow burn. It's a story about a father who is on the brink of turning 30 years old. He's got a daughter. They're both Scottish. They go to a resort in Turkey.
Movie. I know this movie.
And there's a lot of like a lot of like English people or Scottish people like at this resort. And the girl's probably like 8 years old. I mean, maybe she's I don't know. I'd have to look back at it, but yeah, real slow burn. You as a viewer, your impression is like maybe the father's being like kind of creepy or weird, or why is he behaving this way? Because it's really only just those two characters. Then you have some side characters, but I did a lot of like reading afterwards about the movie, and then like when you watch it a second time, it's like all about just like this guy. He can't like, he doesn't know how to. He's a big self-help guy. Like he's basically just he's depressed. So that's an easy way to put it. And he's trying to like find his way at this resort, and he's trying not to. He doesn't have a lot of money, and like she starts picking up on these things. She's like, "Why is he behaving this way?" Like, "Oh, I guess he can't afford this." And then she kind of like digs into him a little bit, but he doesn't like want to tell her that. He's still trying to please her, and yeah, there's all these like shots throughout. Very wonderfully shot, very beautifully shot. There's all these shots throughout the movie where it's like people in a nightclub like dancing, and it's like them, and then at the end you realize like it was her interpretation of the trip. They did like there was like VHS like footage throughout the film, and you kind of like. I don't know. I wish like you guys had actually like watched it, you know, because it's kind of hard to like explain.
It's very
because like they're.
No, I think you're doing a good job.
Yeah,
I
because
think it makes
like
sense.
at the end, like she is grown up and she has like a girlfriend, and then
So she's kind of like looking back.
she's looking back on.
this
She's
event.
reflecting on this this trip, and
With
she's
her
trying to
yeah.
put it together. She's finally putting it together because she's looking at the footage.
Is he like dead?
It's not like
Said.
revealed. Yeah, it's
Okay.
you know you don't really because the last shot is him filming her at the airport going back. To her mother, and you know he closes the camera and then walks back, and it ends. So it's like kind of open ended.
I have
like,
heard about this
yeah,
film.
it's really touching.
Cool.
So,
Interesting.
yeah, that's all I got to say about After Sun. But then last night I saw you guys last night.
So this is fresh.
I love it.
So wait,
Okay.
is this the fifth or the fourth?
This is the fifth. This is my
Okay,
fifth.
so this is the one. Luke,
And
Luke did not have a
I
five.
did not have one until last night. And this is teetering. This is literally teetering the way that movie and film is. It's in between like top 5 and honorable mention for me.
Interesting. Okay. yeah.
But the menu. So
Oh, okay.
yeah. So I finished the menu last night. I can say, I mean, does anybody else want to start? Well, let me collect my thoughts.
I didn't see
I
it.
saw the menu.
okay.
I thoroughly enjoyed that movie, and I did not expect to enjoy it as much as I did. I mean, Ralph Fiennes,
Did you know anything going into it?
very little.
I didn't know
thought it
anything,
was.
so-
I knew it was like.
It was pretty marketed.
It was
a lot.
marketed. I saw-
Yeah, I didn't
ads.
see anything.
I saw
Really? Okay.
a trailer for it, or no, I didn't see a trailer. I saw the poster for it. I'm like, oh, it's a restaurant movie with Ralph Fiennes, and he's
No.
talking about and he's running this 5-star restaurant, and there's trials and tribulations. It's like, okay. Then I watched the trailer. I was like, oh, okay, this seems a bit more intriguing. And then I watched it, and the way the events unfold, I think, are very, I don't know, just interesting and well done and well thought out.
Yeah.
I think Ralph Fiennes is amazing.
He's unbelievable.
He's like, I think one of my favorite performances I've seen in a while. Like, that's why I actually did put it on my top 5. I think he really kind of solidifies it. But even Anya Taylor-Joy in it is, for lack of a better term, a joy. She is really great in what she has to accomplish. And you have fucking Nicholas Hoult in there being just a weird, like, what's going on with this guy? And then there's good reveals. There's great moments that just kind of make you go like, what the fuck?
Okay.
And yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. And there was, I think the theme was beat over your head a little bit.
Yeah.
But that was fine. I enjoyed it a lot.
I liked the way they played with suspense.
I agree.
Like the one scene where they have the boat come in and
Yes.
the guy comes in, I really liked that
It's
because
amazing.
I was like, oh, so if they say something's going to happen to them, so they don't, and then they find out anyway.
Yes,
That's, and I was like, oh, I thought this was going to go a totally different
It
way.
really did. Yeah.
but,
keep you guessing.
Like, I guess the issue I had with it that I didn't want to put it in the top 5 was it seemed like there was a few plot holes that, like the whole thing was everybody needs to die or the menu isn't complete.
Yeah.
However, there are issues with the menu to begin with, as in Anya Taylor-Joy was never supposed to be there.
Yes. Yeah.
What was the other thing? Oh, I don't want to give away the ending, but
Yeah.
she isn't there, and it's complete, so there was that.
There's
kinda
definitely
irked me a
some
little bit.
holes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do just love that her realization and how she does get
I knew what she was going
to the
say
end of the
too, at the end.
situation, and just that scene of him.
I loved his
trapped.
closure.
It's so good.
Yeah,
It
where
really
it's
is.
like-
I don't want to spoil it because Gooch, I do think you should watch it, and I think you'd actually really enjoy it. And listen, I don't know. I watched it with my girlfriend. She wasn't too impressed. I forget. I was talking to my other friend, and she wasn't very impressed either. So I don't know. Maybe your mileage may vary.
That
on
was
this one.
overlooked in the Oscars, right? That
I think it
wasn't-
was.
Like nobody.
I don't think there was anything.
Anya Taylor-Joy has kind of been like aging out for me a little bit. I don't even know why I said it like that, but like I'm just
That is not a good way to say it.
I'm pretty sure she's younger than us.
like
I love her usually in everything she's in.
Her character was like.
She was fine, yeah,
I was like her
I think
attitude was. So,
yeah, I don't know. I think she's like I liked her in Split, and then I feel like as we keep going, I'm less interested in what she's in.
Sure.
I don't know why.
The Witch. I mean, I was sold on her with The Witch, and then
Yeah, she's been in a lot too.
Yeah.
that was like her
That-
first
that-
film. Was
that-
The Witch, I think.
Yeah.
Really?
I think her first
The
major one.
Eggers, yeah.
No, I think Split was.
No, that was after. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. I think
think
Is
that is
Split
correct.
older than I think it is? Or sorry,
Split is like 20
Is Witch older than I think
Witch
it
is like 2016. I think
Split's
Split was
only
like
8.
2017 or 2018.
Oh yeah, okay, maybe you're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Yeah, I was interested with her movies, and then I kind of just like fell off, and then I don't know.
yeah. Well, that
that's
concludes my top 5. So Trio, give it to us, please.
Yeah, mine is also in no particular order, but I'm going to start with The Batman. I basically covered mostly everything I wanted to say. I just want to point back to just the cinematography of that movie and just the mood it makes you feel the
Yeah.
whole time.
Yeah,
Just
like
this dirty, grungy,
the
terrible city
opening
that I would
murder,
never,
you
yeah,
know?
that I would never want to live in.
You're like, what's going on?
It accomplishes everything it needs to, and it makes Batman interesting and profitable again, which I'm curious if that will ever stop. Anyways, Top Gun Maverick. I don't know how much more I can say than Gooch. I didn't really give a rat's ass besides the name for that movie. I got in there. The beginning credits rolled. They were fucking waving those people in, and I got a tingle down under, and I was ready to go.
Yeah, you did,
I
dude.
did. I don't know what.
Tingling down
I
there.
tingled down under. Only on certain things. Top Gun mostly, but no, it was a visceral, just action-packed fun time with a lot of great character moments, genuinely, and very great moments of connection and just kind of giving some closure to that character. But who knows? Maybe we'll get another sequel in 30 years or something like that. Yes, and then the menu. I can't really say much more than I did. Ralph Fiennes.
We're stealing your thunder here. Sorry,
It's okay.
man.
No, I knew this would kind of happen.
Yeah,
that's
I
why.
figured
That's
that. I
why.
think it's
Because
the best
that's
way
why I
to
was
do it.
trying to talk while we were going through these.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Ralph Fiennes is the linchpin of that movie for me. I think he's amazing, and you can watch it for just his performance alone.
Can I go back to Top Gun? How they treat Val Kilmer in that,
That is another thing.
really respectable. Really good. Gotta commend the fact that he's even in the movie.
No, absolutely, and he seemed to really want him get. Do you know what
know what's
happened
going on
to him
with him?
at
What?
all?
Val
Ralph Kilmer.
With his like.
Yeah, he had like throat cancer, and he had a lot of.
What's it called? Documentary came out.
Yeah.
like 2
Yeah.
years
Oh yeah,
ago,
Val. I've been wanting to actually watch that, but yeah, he has
But
a
yeah,
really
he's-
good moment.
he's in the
He
movie.
really does, and they
Oh,
use him.
really?
He's
Yeah,
in
they
it.
use him
Oh,
very
talks.
well. He's like the commander of the base now, and he's like the higher up.
Yeah,
and he
he's like-
goes to
That's a
talk to him.
shame, dude.
Dude, it really does.
But
like,
I think like the clear, I think probably coming from Tom Cruise, the one to include him in that movie was clearly felt.
Oh, for
it's
sure.
not like he was
Yeah.
just in it to be in it. Like
fanfare or anything like
yeah,
that.
like
Yeah.
it felt like very
It
respectable.
was a very heartfelt moment, genuinely. Like when he's talking to, and he's like even talking to him like through the computer, but then he finally gets up and he talks. No, he's like just talking in his raspy voice. It's great. It really is. Good point, Gooch.
This is
And then-
interesting.
What?
The next one.
Oh, yeah, Prey. Yeah. So this
We
was.
haven't talked
about
I
it.
was
One of my
actually.
honorable mentions as
I
well.
was teetering back and forth between this and Doctor Strange, and I know that might seem strange, no pun intended, but there was something about making another Predator movie and making it good that really blew me away.
Yeah, I would
because I
agree. I would
really
agree.
did not like the last one. Did you
Okay.
see the last one?
I want to talk
Trio
about
had
the
like a
last one.
conniption on that podcast.
I didn't watch Prey, but I believe I watched the last one.
I think it's Predators or the Predators.
or the Predator. The one.
It's
no,
Predators,
we
the
don't even know.
Predator,
Okay,
Predator
now
2.
let me ask you: is it the one that the Predators came to Earth to get autism?
Yes, correct. That is
Yeah.
the one.
Oh yeah, I watched that. Oh yeah, I saw
Olivia
that. They
Munn.
wanted to weaponize autism in that film.
Dude, I got on it. You should go back and watch if you haven't seen our
That
our
is
review
one
on
We
of
did
the
a hot
funny-
take on it.
I've genuinely gotten I got so angry just watching that movie because there were just so many different.
I'm like, Trio, what did you expect, dude?
Who's the guy?
Shane Black's made some great movies. He should have.
Who's the bald like black dude with the goatee?
Oh,
that's
Keegan Michael Key or whatever, or
No.
bald black guy with a beard.
Yeah, no, he's in it.
Oh yeah, he is. But are you talking about the guy who
in
like runs-
Predator? The
the original,
the one that
the one that we're
autistic
talking.
one.
Yeah, the autistic weaponization.
What's his name?
I know he has a beard, right?
Yeah, he's
he
got
has
a goatee.
He's in.
He says one of the funniest things I've ever seen. I think he like in that movie, the Predators one, he pulls back.
talking.
He pulls back a somebody's on their like they're doing a what's it called, an autopsy.
Yes.
I think it's of the Predator.
Yeah.
And he like pulls it back and he's like, "Fuck."
Yeah.
Something
No, it's funny because like Shane Black has made some of my favorite movies. Genuinely, he's made like he did the Nice Guys recently.
Is it Brian A. Prince, that guy?
No. Sorry, Trey.
No, it's okay. It's okay. But I have never been so angry in a film. And then to have us
gotta go
come
on the
back
IMDb.
and
I'll
get
get to
Prey. And it sucks that it was on the small screen. I would have liked to see it in theaters with a bit more of it, like, I don't know, 20 million more in the budget to really kind of iron out those CGI kinks and stuff like that. But
It's not that guy?
I think it is that guy.
no, there's a great. I know exactly which one you're talking about.
It's not. He's older. He's in a bunch of stuff.
No, he is. He
was in American Crime Story about O.J. Simpson.
Right.
Sterling Brown?
Sterling
That's
Brown.
it.
That's Sterling K. Brown or whatever. Yeah.
But yeah, just they figured it. They were like, all right, we need to go back to basics. We're bringing them back to in the fucking woods. A Navajo, I think it was, like a Native American
I don't
woman.
remember what tribe they're from.
The tribe
I
being
don't even think
hunted
they
by.
probably say what tribe they're from.
No, they do.
do
I
they?
think it might be Mohawk, maybe actually, because they have
I'll
a dubbed.
Google it.
They have a dubbed version in like the actual language,
which is very cool.
it's interesting. But
if
it's,
you really want to immerse yourself in like the moment, yeah.
no, definitely. But they kind of brought the Predator back to bare bones. I liked his whole motif and everything.
Comanche.
It was Comanche. That's what I
Comanches.
thought.
Yeah.
It was really good, and just even having this protagonist that isn't an Arnold Schwarzenegger, just take down these predators in ways that did feel believable to me. And even like I don't know, everyone was like, "How would this girl take down the predator?" I'm like, "Well, how did Arnold take down a predator?
Comanche,
It's an alien versus he did it through traps
It's not like he's
and
using
shit like that."
strength.
No,
you
that's
know,
what I mean. He's
it's
using
all-
his thoughts. He's using his intellect.
It probably
and
makes
stuff like
more
that.
sense that a Comanche, person who hunts, gathers,
Exactly.
Yeah.
knows
They're-
shit,
yeah.
knows how to hunt, gather, track a fucking person.
No,
or an animal.
absolutely. And that fucking dog was great. I don't know why. I love the dog a lot in that movie.
Yeah.
Overall, it was a great experience to bring that character back in a way that they should do it, and they need to make more bare bones movies like that. But I don't know if Predators will ever disappear. I thought it was going to disappear, to be honest, after Predators, where they were weaponizing autism once again.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Amber Mid-Thunder.
That kid
Great
kills a person in that movie. He uses the
It's been a
Predator.
while.
He uses the Predator helmet and blows up a house with the kid in it.
Remember
and he
there
just
was the
walks away.
giant predator and
Yes.
the mini predator.
Yes, he
it's
was a Goliath.
horrible.
Like
it was awful.
and they were coming to Earth to like be diplomats with us and like help us. And then get autism.
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
They wanted to be.
Yeah, the
like-
autistic child knew how to use the alien technology to get onto their ship because he's autistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they
That's
want
the
that.
plot. We're not just saying that. That's
Yeah,
the
that's,
No, that's
literally
genuinely
the plot.
That's
Yeah.
it.
But again, Neil, I just wanted Shane Black. It just makes me so sad because he's had really great movies, and that one just wasn't it.
Prey was in my honorable mentions. Amber Mid-Thunder, who is the main character, great fucking pick. And like all the actors, I'm not one to talk about like obviously like diversity is important, but like it's not really like something I'm actively looking for. But I think like the idea to one, cast all the people in this movie like they're all like Comanche, like actual
pretty cool.
tribe
Oh,
members,
that
Yeah,
makes
it's pretty
and they're
cool.
speaking the language, and they went really far to like make sure it was authentic to the culture, and not casting Native Americans in this movie. I mean, there are some white people they do encounter,
But they're the
some,
French
like
trappers
cowboys,
or whatever.
or like
They're like French
frontiersmen.
guys, yeah. They're
Right.
trappers, yeah.
Yeah. They're French.
But no, I think you're right.
Frontiersmen
But that's
would
what
still work
that
for
is. That is like representation stuff done right,
and-
because it makes it.
And
it's,
you have
it's,
a
it makes sense.
strong female character where you'd least expect it.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
it'd be more
the
offensive
movie
if they
was
had
not,
like.
she's a woman. It's good. It's like, oh, like this
Well,
is a really
and she
cool
wasn't
movie.
just strong because
with-
she was a woman.
Right, exactly. And
She
I'm like,
was-
this
yes.
is. I'm like, this is like, you want a movie with a strong female hero? This is fucking it, man. She's
Oh, for
great. Yeah, and but like, yeah, the way she like hunts and travels and makes like equipment and stuff. It's
really good stuff.
to hunt this fucking thing. It's really cool.
Yeah. Anything? you
Only
was that-
thing, wish they used that practical effect more.
I agree. No, I think that's what I think. Some of the
They
CGI
replaced a
definitely
lot of
needed
it.
some touch up and things like that. And for
well,
sure.
they replaced.
If it
They had
been-
it practical.
No, absolutely. I'm trying to remember who directed Prey too, but I think it's a name that I know pretty
Prey
well.
2.
Prey as
Pray
well.
as well.
Oh, Prey. T-O-O.
Thank you. Yeah. But
There's a sequel.
Yeah, we'll definitely.
Great film, the Hulu movie, which I don't usually like watch Hulu.
It was
Yeah.
it was their biggest streamed thing ever, whatever that means, because they don't have to tell us. But yeah, so
I think I'm
interesting
lie
stuff.
about that, but whatever.
That's what I'm saying. Like so.
Yeah, that was our biggest streamed thing.
Moving on to honorable mentions. Should we just go back this
Oh, well,
way, or
this
should
guy,
we go?
this
back?
guy had
Oh, duh, I'm sorry. I also had
but-
Del Toro's Pinocchio was rounding out my list. Again, just a magical film that
Yeah,
I
I
never
think
expected
we can
to enjoy.
do that
We'll
movie.
boomerang back this way.
Yeah.
All right. So with my honorable mentions, really at the top of the list, this was a film I did not think I would needed or would enjoy as much as I did. It was Jackass Forever.
I saw Jackass Forever. as
I
well.
was crying
Yeah.
laughing at some parts. I
Yeah.
think there's a little bit too much penis in it for me sometimes. But
We're adults.
but I mean we're adults.
we can handle
it.
some cock. And
little balls.
A little cock and balls. Who cares? But I mean, dude, it was just so funny to see these old fucking farts come back and do these insane stunts. And I actually,
And the cinematography. No.
it was my favorite.
I was like,
you
oh,
took
wait.
the words right out of my mouth. Even the new people that I was like, I don't care. I was like,
Yeah,
oh, these are
they
funny
stepped
people,
up
and
a
it
little
was
bit.
they stepped up. They did some crazy shit. I mean, Knoxville almost died doing this with with a head injury or something. So
Fucking
hey,
crazy. People.
I
It is what it is.
thoroughly enjoyed that movie.
I liked it too. I felt like when I went to go see it with Tim Appleby, friend of
Yeah.
the
I
show.
saw it in theaters as well.
Yeah. We went out to see it, and I really felt like, I'm like, my review about it was like, remember, it's 2002, and you're sleeping over your friend's house, and, it's late.
Yeah.
It's like, 1 in the morning.
Comes on. And
And you're
Jackass is
watching
on.
Jackass, and like you're having this like shared experience.
it was it was part of the zeitgeist.
Yeah, I think Jackass like is kind of a part of our childhood. And
Absolutely.
it's really weird to say,
Yeah.
but it is because like they would never make a
We
show
also
like
had
that.
Viva Bam in Westchester,
Yes,
so it's
yeah.
sort of local.
Which is so
Yeah,
funny
yeah.
that was that close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I served his parents at Uno's.
Yeah, I've seen Bam a few times in town. But
Yeah, and growing up with Steve-O, Wee Man, Knoxville, Bam Margera, like all those guys, all those skate guys. It's a funny. It's again that very.
It's a
very,
real time capsule.
It's a very nostalgic movie
Yeah.
too, because like again, you watch them do this same shit, the same funny
Yeah.
shit. You're laughing and people get slapped around and like balls and dick
Someone gets
jokes. It's very like rudimentary, but it
No,
works.
it's very childish for
Yeah,
sure. But
yeah.
it's
But that's
there's
why you
something
liked
about
it.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just God. I was crying laughing at some of the bits in it. It was so good. And then next up, a little Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah.
Thought it was pretty good. It definitely
Yeah.
didn't blow me away. I feel like I was hearing from some people. Maybe that was because I was hearing about how good it was at all times. And
Came out a year ago today,
Yeah, which is pretty crazy.
as of recording, which is the 26th of March.
The idea of exploring the multiverse and the way that they did was very interesting. I thought, the themes of like family and just, making your choices and lying with them or whatever. I don't know. It was good, but I did think it goes a little too highbrow at some points when it gets to like hot dog fingers and a literal everything bagel for the thing.
I
And it's
thought that
like-
was funny.
But it's funny, but like, hey, I enjoyed it for sure.
I think where Everything Everywhere All at Once kind of falls for me is the beginning. I think the movie really takes a minute to get rolling, especially as they're explaining the multiverse stuff. I'm like, we're getting like lost in the sauce here. But once it kind of gets rolling, it's good. And funny you talking about The Sopranos in the beginning of this episode. I feel like the cultural impact of like, you know, being Chinese, right? Yeah, Chinese family living in America, obviously like first gen parents, second gen daughter, and like what comes with all that. Really interesting. Like obviously like that's like kind of the crux. It is the crux of the movie. And I really like what's his middle name? Is it
Keegan Michael.
No.
Ke Huy Quan.
Quan, yeah.
Quay, yeah. I can't remember.
Watching him win that Oscar, I was like, dude, this guy's like incredible. What a like wholesome dude. Like to kind of like, you know, see him start a short round in Indiana Jones and in the Goonies, and you know, he hasn't worked in like 30 years, and he gets this role, and it works for him, and you know, he's going to be in
He
Loki.
sounds exactly the same as he did when he was a kid.
And
It's
I
unbelievable.
think that's like part of the charm about him.
Yeah.
He has this like,
He's cute.
yeah, he's
Yes,
cute. He's cute. But
He's a cute 45-year-old
He has
man.
like one of my favorite lines in the movie. I think when they're like the multiverse, where she's famous and like a singer and actress. Did you see the movie?
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah,
I'm,
okay.
I'm waiting because I have a totally different.
Okay.
I'm curious. No, I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. But when he's like talking to her and it's a scene in Chinese and they were talking and it's like, you know, in another universe we could have got married and I would have loved to do laundry and taxes with you. And I'm like, wow, that really just hit me really fucking hard. I really like that. And he's like, you know, it's raining and he's in a suit and he just walks away.
Yeah, again, I don't know. I did feel like by the end I was a bit lost in the sauce, though. I'm like, what is happening? Like,
It's
like it doesn't really.
But I don't think it's really important.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
it's not
And
like
like
a
even the ways they were
MCU film.
talking about like how you inspire your past lives, I didn't really quite understand it. But Luke, I want to hear you tear this one a new one. What happened?
Yeah.
I hated this. I really couldn't stand it. I like it was
Is
the
it in
most.
Your Ugly?
Oh, it's my ugly. Yeah,
Okay.
it was
Oh, it was
so
interesting.
exhausting. It was like for all of these films, I don't think I checked the timestamp at any point. And I was told prior to watching this that this is a movie that's in 3 parts. I was begging like every minute for like each part to end to start a new part, and I was like, maybe we'll get past this.
And I'll hit it.
you know,
yeah.
and it's just like.
It
Like
is an odd
what am I
movie.
watching? Like
It
Scott Pilgrim 2, dude?
It
Like
is
come
an odd
on.
movie.
It's,
And that's why I said with like the beginning, I'm like this isn't working, but then it kind of gets into it and I kind of appreciated it. But I don't
I mean, I like that Data.
I'm not like
Data got his Oscar. I like that.
Sure.
yeah, I'm not like and
Oh, I'm not pissed about
no
it.
no no no. I think like what you're
Sure. No.
what the fuck am I trying to say here? I'm just like losing my thoughts.
What I'm trying to say is I can handle like multiverse stuff. Like,
Like,
perhaps
like,
I'll have to read
complicated,
into
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Like perhaps I'll have to read into it after the movie. I had no interest in like diving further into this.
What I'm trying to say is I'm not shocked at your opinion.
Yeah.
I think it like makes sense given what the movie is.
Yeah, I didn't like the pacing. I like.
I agree with you on most of this.
Also-
Which is funny. You're making me kind of realize maybe I didn't.
We
Like
got to
this
bring it
movie.
back to Encino Man. He's in that movie with Brendan Fraser.
Yeah.
Is he?
And
Yeah.
for like a moment, he comes
Yeah.
up and gives him like
And
a
they both won an
handshake.
Oscar.
And
Oh,
that's
really?
it, yeah.
Oh, that's
Fucking
crazy.
weird.
Yeah, 'cause
That
I
was
saw
like
that picture of them
apparently that's
together.
like one of
Yeah.
his last acting roles before he gave
Wow.
up. That one interview of him talking of like, yeah, I mean, I was like in Indiana Jones, then I did the Goonies. Like I was riding high. I thought I was gonna get a fuck ton more
And
roles,
when
and just nothing else came in for him. And he's
Yeah.
like, I couldn't find anything else. I just had to stop. I'm like, damn, that's it. That is kind of weird to think about.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's all I really have to say.
no,
about
that's all
that.
right. I like it. I'd like fuck everything ever all wants to know. Next up is Smile. Actually, I saw a lot of horror last year. Have either of you guys seen this one?
I'm
I'm not a
familiar.
horror
I'm
guy.
familiar
You
with
know
it.
that.
Yeah.
I know that Sosie Bacon was in it, and that's all.
Sosie Bacon.
Yeah.
Sounds like some sort of like DND name.
so
Kevin
I
Bacon's
think
daughter.
Sosie
Sosie?
Yeah.
Sosie Bacon.
Yeah.
Ooh, saucy bacon. I
Like
like
where,
it.
Bacon.
like what's Sosie? I want to know.
Saucy. I'm telling you, that's
SOSIE.
totally what it is.
It's a name.
I don't know. Never heard that before.
No, I haven't either. That sounds like a not
Not
white
real
guy's name.
That's
No,
like
okay.
that's like Gwyneth Paltrow's kid's name's Apple. Like who names a kid Apple?
Yeah, I mean, we can get in a
like
whole
it.
conversation. Smile. I really enjoyed it until I think the last 10 minutes.
Ooh,
Because
that's always rough.
and
when a
it's
movie
tough
kills you
because
right
I
there.
think it does a really. The issue with me in a lot of horror movies is that they feel the need to go very conjuring and like at the end there's smoke and lightning and a person screaming and the demon's coming out of the closet and you're killing it and you're doing whatever. Like I love a horror movie that just sits on the tension more, and I think this does a really good job of that and like building up, and she's just and taking this very benign thing of a smile and making it very creepy and like
Yeah.
this sign of like something bad's gonna happen, because the idea is this thing keeps passing to people who are you see a person kill themselves in a horrible way and they smile at you, and then that then transfers this thing to you.
So it's kind of like a being whispered down the lane, sort
Basically,
of.
it's almost like, did you see It Follows?
Yes, I was
very
literally just
similar
about to say
that.
It Follows.
And then, she's seeing the smile. She thinks she's going crazy. But then at the end, there's a big smile monster with kind of big googly eyes. I'm sorry to scare you. And I think it kind of just... And it looks creepy at the moment, but then it's like... And it actually got me for a second with a bit of a twist, which I won't spoil. But, I just didn't think it didn't quite stick the landing. But overall, I did enjoy it, and I was creeped the fuck out for most of it. So I guess there's that. After this, Hellraiser. This was actually another Hulu one. I was never a Hellraiser fan. I feel like there's been a lot. I know it's a very mixed franchise from what I can tell. I thought this one was really cool and interesting, and the way they kind of dived into the Cenobites and like the lore. I didn't really... You're there for the kills and kind of the spectacle. I wish they did a better job of making me care about the people that are dying within the movie.
I feel like they didn't even really do that with the original Hellraiser.
Yeah, and I heard that that's an issue, so I guess I can't ask for much, but the whole redesign of all the Cenobites and like they moved away...
got Pinhead?
Yeah, it was a female Pinhead this time actually, but it worked. They instead of like this BDSM black leather clad type style, they went for like skin grafts. Like they'd have like the skin would be and pinned and like moved.
What's the Cronenberg movie we're talking about?
Crimes of the Future.
Crimes of the Future.
Something
I was going to
like
ask you about the practical effects because that's what like Hellraiser
all of it
is.
looks really good. I think there are some like CGI kill scenes, but for the most part, they use practical when it comes to all the different Cenobites and their design, and it's interesting. It made me interested in the Hellraiser series.
When I saw you put it there, I was like, maybe I'll check that one out.
It surprised me for sure. And I watched it. It's on Hulu for free. It was a Saturday. Me and my girlfriend watched it. We both enjoyed it. But after that, we have Violent Night with Mr. What's his name? Fuck.
From Stranger Things, David Harbour.
David Harbour.
Hellboy.
Hellboy. Yeah, that his
In the
most
Suicide
critically
Squad.
acclaimed, I really enjoyed this movie. It was just a bit of like a Die Hard meets Santa Claus and mythical things. Like they really leaned heavily into like the magic and that he is Santa Claus.
Yeah, I'm like, he is Santa.
I appreciated.
Like, he's not just like a dude dressed as Santa.
He's using like his like bottomless bag, and he's using just like all his different magics, and the way he needs to get up the chimney, he needs to like rub his nose. So like there's a lot of like rules that they establish that they use, and I found it just to be surprisingly well thought out for an action movie about Santa Claus.
Did it review well?
Yeah, I think it reviewed pretty well. I think it did all right for sure.
Sure.
This seemed like a side project almost for him. Like it kind of came out of nowhere.
No, it did.
Like,
it's weird. There's a whole genre of Santa's badass movies. I've realized. Like it's
not my cup of tea personally, because
like
I don't like horror anyway.
No, I agree, and it definitely wasn't horror.
that.
It was definitely more like I said, Die Hard
Action.
meets Santa Claus, and it was a fun story. I thought the kid in it was great, and you kind of see this bit of growth in him. But again, you're not going to get a ton.
Why
out
is
of
he
that
killing
character-wise.
people?
So he stops at this house.
Give me the short version.
He stops at a house. He's dropping presents. He realizes that at this house, these people are being abducted and held for a ransom.
That's interesting.
And then he gets caught up in it. And he's like, "Listen, I'm just trying to leave." And then they shoot at him, and he's like, "You know what? Fuck you guys." And then they do kind of explore where Saint Nick comes from, and he's like, I don't know. I guess I can spoil it here a little bit. I don't think anyone's gonna. He's like a Viking. He's like a guy. He used to be a Viking, and he was like I don't know. It was very odd.
Interesting.
Anyways,
is that why he uses an axe?
Yeah, he has an accent, but it was a fun time. If you're bored one night and you want to watch something, I would highly recommend it. Another one was Black Phone.
I saw, I think half of Black Phone, or maybe I just don't remember the ending.
Is this with Ethan Hawke?
Ethan Hawke, yeah. I thought it was just really
You did watch a lot
weird
of
and yeah, I did. Just a very weird and kind of tension buildy movie. I don't know. Did you not? You said you watched it and you just didn't. You kind of fell off with it.
The furthest point I remember is when the boy in the basement is being contacted by prior people, and they say like, "Don't go up there, like it's a test," and then it shows him in the chair.
Just like
I remember people were like, "Dude, that was fucking terrible." I was like, "That was like." I thought that was kind of like not cringe, but it was just like, what?
I think that is creepy. From like the idea of a child dealing with that. I don't know. I feel like if I was a kid and I'm caught in some basement, I walk up and I see that, I would not be excited. But I get what you're saying. I don't know. I did really enjoy it. I thought the kid was very good for a child actor. In my opinion, I thought he did a good job. It's actually
Was that an interesting role for Ethan Hawke? Do you think?
yeah, I think that's kind of up his lane. I don't know. I think he's like
You got an opinion about
well,
that?
I have an opinion about Ethan Hawke because there's movies that he is in that like I mean he's a fantastic actor. He's in this movie with Philip Seymour Hoffman called Before You Know Before You Know You're Dead or something like that. Very good movie. It was in Boyhood. Trying to think of other
Is
stuff.
that the movie where
it was filmed over like 12 years?
I need to watch it. It's been on my list for fucking years.
But he has all these great roles, and then he'll take stuff like The Purge and
Or like Moon Knight.
and then the
It
other
is
one,
weird.
Sinister. I'm like, he doesn't really have, and I don't have a problem with that.
Sure.
It's just like I don't know what he wants to be. Like
genuinely, I think he just takes what he finds interesting.
because he can
Moon-
be. I mean, he was in
when he was in
Boyhood,
Moon
like-
By the way,
that was a really weird
sorry, I didn't.
pick.
Yeah, it
You
is.
know,
It
like,
is
I'm
an
like,
interesting one.
Ethan Hawke is in.
I did like him a
Marvel
lot
show?
in that
Okay.
for sure, but the guy who directed this, Scott Derrickson, he was supposed to do Doctor Strange too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think. And did you see Sinister?
Yes, I did.
How'd you feel?
I didn't care for it. Like I'm a
Gotcha.
big ride or die for Insidious, and I feel like they came around the same point. So I'm
Sure.
like, I'm gonna pick and choose.
Yeah.
And I didn't care for The Conjuring, but
No,
Insidious,
that's fair.
I love.
I'm not a big Conjuring guy either. Again, I feel like it goes to that horror that's like, ooh, like it ends in a big spectacle at the end. Yeah, I don't know. I did really enjoy it. I thought the performances were good. I actually just really thought the child acting, like that moment where the dad's yelling at the kid, like they have this abusive father. I can't remember the guy who's playing it, but like, and he's like, you, because the daughter like has visions like her mother apparently did. Like she's like, what's the word?
She's
Like psychic, but like she can see things. And he's like, you do not, like he's a drunken piece of shit. And the idea, there's this theme of people change around people. Clairvoyant. That's
I
it.
wasn't like that.
Yeah,
And
I was thinking too.
It's a very rough moment when she's like, you don't fucking see this. She's like, okay, like, it was hard to watch, but yeah, really good stuff. And last on this was X.
That's another horror.
Another horror one. Yeah, again, I watched a lot.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of horror.
Nah,
in this
that's
movie.
the Jenna Ortega, right?
Yeah, and what's her name? Mia Goth. Very creepy. I think they kind of go a little overboard with the deaths sometimes, but it's tough for me to speak on horror sometimes. I feel like I don't know what exactly makes it hit for me. Sometimes it doesn't.
You like it,
I guess
but you're
did.
not well versed.
Like,
about
are you
it.
a slasher guy, or are you like a body horror?
I can enjoy
guy,
a slash. I can enjoy a slasher body horror if done
I
correctly.
think that's where I'm at. I
going-
like body horror the most.
Body
you
horror
know what?
can be interesting. Like
The
again, I did
Fly.
like Hellraiser, and I feel like there is a good amount of
I
body
think this would
horror
be
in
an
that.
interesting. This is a little bit of a sidebar, but it'd be an interesting conversation because I like horror games, but I don't like horror movies.
Really?
Sure.
Very interesting. I'm
I'm
much
completely the opposite.
I'd much rather play it and like kind of be in it than like watch this like a horror movie like
where you
'cause
have no control or something.
it's not even that. I just think like horror, like, and I guess this is like correct even still. Like horror, the genre of movies are pretty bad for the most part. Like, there's not a lot of like gems.
Well, I think the issue is that they're so cheap to make, so there's so many of them that
It's
most of them
diluted,
are
though.
bound to
Right.
I mean,
suck you.
people.
I didn't grow up with it.
Yeah.
I was scared as
Apparently,
shit
the
as a
new
little
Evil
kid.
Dead's really good. I want to see that. I've heard like really good things.
Well, the 2013 one sucked, but
I heard that.
I'm just a huge. I love the Evil
Fun
Dead.
fact: first time I ever got stoned was when we were watching Evil Dead, and I could not sleep that night.
Evil Dead 1 or
The
2?
new one,
oh.
and I just couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
I was like
Yeah.
13, and I was stoned. I was like, "This is not okay." I can't remember even specifically what happened because I feel like I blocked it out. In my
It's
mind,
pretty
but
much just a retelling.
That's
of,
what I
you
heard,
know,
yeah.
Press.
They're all like retellings except for Army of Darkness.
What's
but-
this one called now coming out? It's like Evil Dead or it's like about it is, but it does seem
Have you ever
different.
seen the show Asher's Evil Dead?
No,
That's
I've
great. You
heard
should
that's
check that
great.
one
Yeah,
out,
too.
too.
That seems to
That got
like blend into the
canceled,
real
too, didn't it?
campy.
I don't think so. I think
I think it
ended
finished
after
out
3 seasons.
Yeah, I just think it
Oh,
finished
it
out.
was
Yeah.
planned for 3
Yeah,
seasons.
yeah.
Or
Okay.
yeah, maybe I think they knew that they
Did
finished.
Sam Raimi do that?
I think
He
he
was a
involved.
producer.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That makes sense.
That one leans into like the real campiness of it.
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
for
It's
sure.
like Bruce Campbell's like kind of like a cartoon of himself.
Yeah,
sort of,
yeah.
You know, so
Interesting, and he has like the chainsaw hand and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah,
Yeah. Interesting. There's an Evil Dead game too. That's like one of those
I saw it.
1v6,
Yeah, like
like
the Jason
asymmetric.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Jason one they had to take down because they like lost the licensing to that or something. Which
Yeah,
is
Friday
crazy.
the 13th.
So you can't even play that one
Wow.
anymore.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
there's some
licensed.
weird thing with the but that's weird. Like I would assume licenses like that for a game are like in perpetuity.
I think something got fucked up.
yeah,
I
unless
think-
you like make a sequel. Like you can't make a sequel.
yeah,
maybe,
like,
but
like
you
something
Can,
behind the scenes happened and they lost it. I don't know.
yeah, but I think
been a
X
while.
is very well shot. There's a lot of just like great camera work in my opinion, and just moments of like setting up characters. There are some fun characters that I care about probably more than in Hellraiser for sure, but maybe I could care about it a little bit more. I've been meaning to watch Pearl, which is like the
That's the Mia Goth other one, right?
yeah, she's. I think it's supposed to be like a prequel to this. Like it's supposed to be about the woman that's in this. Yeah, just real creepy imagery. I'd definitely recommend it for sure, especially if you like horror stuff. Hit us with your honorable mentions.
Okay, I'm gonna make this quick because these two, like, I put these in my honorable mentions, not on purpose to talk about them together, but I realized that they are essentially like the same movie.
Interesting.
I have Don't Worry, Darling, and Spiderhead. So, I mean, have either of you seen either of these?
Besides
I know
you
the
talking about
ending of
Don't Worry, Darling.
Yeah, okay.
And then Spiderhead with Miles Teller.
So both of these films are basically just, they're like sci-fi, like not sci-fi heavy, like it's technology that like wouldn't be new to us, that we haven't seen in other sci-fi movies. They're both, well, this will kind of give it away with Don't Worry, Darling, but they're both like modern films. Like they both take place in a modern setting. But they are, in both movies, everybody except for a select group are being deceived, and they're under the impression that they're living in a different reality than they actually are, or they trust somebody who is deceiving them, and they have this giant scheme. And Don't Worry, Darling became like my bedtime movie. Like I saw it in theaters, and I was like, kind of like, stinky. I don't like that. It was no good. And then it just became easy to watch. Like the first half of the movie is based in like a Levittown, like a nuclear sort of like cul-de-sac sort, and like it's visually appealing. It's nice. I think Florence Pugh like acts very well in it. Harry Styles could use a little bit of work. His music's
Florence Pugh
great.
is really great in most stuff.
She is. I mean, I don't like what's the Swedish Midsummer?
Oh, I despise that movie.
I don't like that movie at all. But
it's so bad.
Really?
I really did not like it at all. I finally watched it like last year, and it was just a 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Is it really scary?
No.
No, it's
a bit. There's like 1 or 2 parts that's a little disturbing.
Shocking,
but like
that was like.
Did you like Hereditary? Have you seen Hereditary?
Yes, Hereditary.
I enjoyed Hereditary a lot more.
The Witch is my favorite of the three. Like,
are those all Robert Eggers?
Yeah.
Or is that
no? Robert Eggers is The Witch and The Lighthouse.
Right.
Yeah, it's like
right.
That is on my list.
Yeah.
The guy
was
who
great.
did Midsummer's doing like some weird movie with Joaquin Phoenix or something, and it's like
he looks old.
and young.
I saw the trailer for it last night.
But Don't Worry, Darling, directed by Olivia Wilde. Pretty interesting.
There's a wild
I think she
story
did.
behind that.
I think she did a pretty good job, honestly.
Yeah,
it was probably fun.
there's an old drama about that.
And Spiderhead is basically like a max security prison on an island. Max security, as in like you're on an island and there's no way of getting out. However, you have certain freedoms.
Gotcha.
Who is Hemsworth? I think
Yeah,
Hemsworth is.
Chris Hemsworth.
I think he's a really great character. I think the soundtrack is awesome. I think that kept me around, like, interested.
I've been meaning. I keep seeing it on Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's the one
I
wanted
wanted
to
to
watch.
watch it because Miles Teller was in it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, same sort of deal with both movies. It's like you figure out like, oh, there's a mastermind to all this, and
Things maybe aren't as what they
kind
seem.
of like I think both of when you find it out, it's kind of like it's like a fart. It's
I've
like,
heard
oh,
that,
whatever.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I wouldn't say that they were bad. They are movies. I mean, everything that I put in here. Like my top 5, those are films.
I had
and
to
then my
remove
honorable
that game that
mentions.
you put it. No.
Well, the menu does the teeter, but and then these are movies. So
real quick, just to interrupt you, I was thinking at the beginning because when we were going over this, I'm like, we should probably be like ranking them, right? I'm like, this would probably
That'll be a long time.
no,
yeah.
I mean this is my ranking the way I
No.
did it, but-
No. Like
each movie is
high tier
Oh
film.
yeah.
I'm
That
like,
was way too much.
this is way too much.
Yeah.
I was like,
But yeah, those are my honorable mentions.
And Gooch, you want to run through yours? It looks like we might have hit all yours.
Yeah,
But,
so we hit Prey, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Whale, Del Toro's Pinocchio, and something we haven't talked about yet, The Gray Man, which it's in there because I just Ana Armas, love her, watch everything she's
Yeah.
in.
Was she in most of that? I don't even remember.
Yeah, she's a main side character.
Again, I remember
Yes.
none of that movie.
And I watched it on a plane actually when I went to Zion. I watched it on a plane. Pretty good plane watch. I just had a fun time with it. I like seeing Chris Evans as like a villain character.
He does play that well.
Yeah. I was just I was entertained. I liked it. It's kind of like John Wick actiony. I think Ryan Gosling wasn't the best, but again, I wasn't there to watch Ryan Gosling act. I like him. He's in a lot of my favorite movies actually. But yeah, I just had a good time with it. I think we need more like stylized action films like John Wick.
See, I wouldn't even put this even sort of in the same category as John Wick. Like John Wick.
I'm really not.
Sure.
It's just like again, like stylized action where like,
no, I hear you.
Yeah, I just like a good action flick.
Oh, you know what? Oh, I should have added one to mine. That came out last. Did Bullet Train come out last year?
Yes.
That was
the Brad Pitt one.
Yeah, that one I
haven't
actually
seen that.
thoroughly. I would compare that more to a John Wick and just how poetic and like forward it is. But yeah, no, sorry. Continue.
So that's it.
Oh yeah.
Okay, then
so for
we'll
me,
get to the shitters.
The ugly.
that was one of my shitters. Was the Gray Man just because not because I sat there and actively disliked it while I was watching it. I just don't remember it whatsoever, at all. Like I'm trying. I know like Ryan Gosling's the Gray Man, and they're after him.
I don't really remember much about it either.
Like
but
what's
I just,
going, like
I
the
just liked
action
it.
scenes weren't very like anything. I don't know. It just really kind of rolled off my back, I guess. So that's why I would put that on my ugly side. But
For my ugly,
yeah,
Morbius.
Okay.
I don't even think I need to say much about Morbius.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It, you know, what made it worse is the fact that it turned into this big meme. Like,
I mean, once you turn
astronomically.
into a meme, it's done.
It like I think
yeah.
it like not that I
Jared
had
Leto is a walking meme, dude. You
yeah,
put
I
his
mean,
name in
I
it.
didn't have any respect for it, and I came out of the theater and being like, holy fuck. But like, I don't know. I think like the internet kind of taking it and like really poking fun of it to like just the absolute maximum like made it even worse. Because like I'm like, it's not good. Can we stop like making
that's the
fun of
joke.
it?
But
like,
that's
I'm just like let's
See,
move.
I love that
let's,
shit.
Let's
I
move.
was
It's
so-
Morbin time. I've never even seen the movie. I think it's Morbin time is like hilarious to me.
I like it's funny, but I'm just like, can we just pretend this never
yeah.
happened, please? Uncharted. It's funny to see a Naughty Dog product on the
Oscars.
we have The Last of Us, which is like
Oh, yeah,
next
yeah.
greatest, the last greatest thing from HBO, and then Uncharted, which is like just the complete opposite, like absolute, just kind of like trashy movie, not good, doesn't adapt the game well. But then The Last of Us.
you don't think that's see? I feel like that's the Uncharted to me.
I mean, it
Like,
is,
like,
but it's just like I didn't like it wasn't cast well in my opinion.
Sure.
Maybe Tom Holland is a good choice, but fucking Mark Wahlberg as Sully, no way. Yeah, I just think that could have been better overall, especially for video game movies. We need a win, but they all need to be wins. Halo was bad, Uncharted was bad, Last of Us thankfully was good. The Mario movie,
Warcraft.
we'll see. Well, this is the second time you bring that
I
up.
know. I just think
Have
it's
you seen
hilarious.
Warcraft?
Okay,
no, I'm
well-
only bringing it up because David Bowie's son directed.
I
it,
don't
so.
like to bring this up, but I will just say like Uncharted was very.
Wait, Duncan Jones?
Yeah, it's David Bowie's son.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
I never realized that.
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting. Okay, guess we learn something new every day. Next up we have Deep Water. This is Ana de Armas and Ben Affleck movie.
Damn, she's coming up a lot.
Yeah, she is. We haven't talked about Blonde yet.
Oh right.
I think we're going to. Yeah. Okay. So Deep Water is like a fetish movie. I'll be honest with you. In a bad way. So Ben in this movie is like he developed a drone and he's set for life. He doesn't work anymore. I think he's like consults in like war. But like they live in this like I think it's like in like South Carolina or North Carolina or like Connecticut, like some like small like northeastern state, and they have a cushy life and a kid. But
Wait. South Carolina, small northeastern state.
it's like the South.
Southeastern.
I was like, wait,
Potato,
what is it?
potato.
And Ana de Armas is a fucking whore in this movie. She's like, they're married, and I guess they like, he's kind of like, he's kind of just like a nerd, but he's like, he's not like, she's not getting fucked the way she wants to get fucked.
Okay.
So she's going out and being there. They go to a lot of parties, and she's just promiscuous with a lot of people, like being really horny with a lot of dudes, like not just like sex, but like fetish stuff. And like, like she like meets, like she goes out and she like meets this like dude who's like playing the piano at a bar, and like she's like giving him roadhead, and like she like tells him about it.
I
And,
thought
like,
I couldn't say
it's
MILF.
it's really it's really weird. And like I think Ana de Armas acts well in it because like I'm like it's really like I just generally when you generally dislike a character for I think like exactly why you should, I'm like, yeah, it's played pretty well, but it was just kind of like an odd movie. And then Ben Affleck goes to like kill the people she's been with.
Okay.
And it kind of like it's one and then it's another.
I'll tell you what.
Another.
Didn't hear anything about this movie.
Yeah,
I really.
I totally forgot
It's a
about it.
Hulu movie, and I watch. You know, I just watch it because Anna was
Yeah.
in it, and I'm like, I gotta, you know, I like her and gotta watch her stuff. But yeah, not a good one. And this is when they were dating.
Oh really?
Yeah, they were dating at the time. Weird one.
Okay.
Weird one for sure. And last, but is at least I don't know. Thor: Love and Thunder. What a fart. What a wet fart. They thought they could capitalize on Ragnarok's success, and they did it again, and it just didn't turn out well.
Was this directed by
Taika
Taika
Waititi?
Waititi?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame.
It
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
I just don't know what he did. Like,
Yeah,
it really
like,
looked
it
bad because
wasn't the
Well,
other one
Ragnarok
great?
was awesome.
Yeah,
Ragnarok, he
Ragnarok-
did both.
it just
right?
felt like he
Yes.
didn't give a shit on
Yeah,
this one.
it felt
really.
like he just kind of like lost steam.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then he was doing like, and you know, this was around the time people, and it's still going on. We're talking about like CGI issues going on in the industry and like how like artists are being very heavily overworked and stuff like that. And I remember he did this like wired like picture of a scene or whatever, like when they go over a scene and they like write it, and he's just talking about how all the CGI looks like shit, and like he's joking, but it's just optically, it's not good. Like all his like stuff for the movie just felt so weird and like I don't know because he didn't.
work.
Ragnarok
I
was
find
amazing.
it interesting that he even that he's in this like circle, like
I know.
making these movies.
And
you
they
know?
seem to
'Cause-
really give him like the leash on the last one. Like they allowed him to kind of really make Thor into whatever the
Yeah.
fuck he wanted. And
Yeah.
then I just felt like
And they did it again, and it's just like,
didn't he
what?
direct the Nazi one?
Yeah, Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah.
Jojo
that was in
Rabbit.
between
He
this and
directed-
that.
They directed one in New Zealand about a kid that goes into the wilderness.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that was great. And I'm like, now he's doing.
Thor again.
Yeah.
Right, you think
But
he kind of
again, like, he
graduated,
could've
right?
done, but like he could have done it. He just it just seems like he just. They were like, all right, let's get on set and riff for an hour.
The
in a room.
humor wasn't good. It seems like he let the actors kind of run with it more than he should have. It didn't seem like he had a tight rein on what was going on.
And I think you can. I think he did that in the first one too. But I just don't know if he had the same, like you're
Gumption?
saying, rein on it, like
Right,
or like
yeah.
no, or the focus it needed. I don't know. I agree
Yeah,
with
because
you.
it's so funny that movie. Like we were going in like, oh, this is gonna be good, and then it was like, no, this wasn't good at all.
Yeah, no, the trailers were getting me hyped for real. Like I was excited.
So now we're back to Bad Thor. Anyway, Luke.
Okay, I'm gonna zip
Lay it
through
down.
these ones because I don't have. I have like a few little things to say about each one,
Sure.
except for everything, everywhere, all at once. I already shit on it. So,
Yeah.
Good Morning, MGK's film with Mod Sun, and
So you told us about this.
yeah, I
actually.
told you
Yeah.
about this.
Yeah.
Also starring Megan Fox.
Yeah.
So this is
Machine Gun Kelly.
this
okay.
is probably the most unironically like the worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life. It's like on the nose stoner jokes where it's like
Really
I
fun
fucking
stuff.
like a 13-year-old could have like made that joke. or something.
420.
Yeah, and it's oddly enough it's a bedtime movie because it's so easy to fall asleep to. There really is like nothing to wrap your mind around.
It's just throwing up
the
nonsense.
story is he gets a text saying good morning from his girlfriend MGK, and he's like, what's that mean? Because it's spelled MOURNING. And then he goes out to his pool and Trippie Redd is there, and he throws a water balloon at him because he doesn't like the finale of his show because MGK is an actor in this universe. And it explodes and the phone gets wet and he can't text his girlfriend to figure out what she meant by that. So the entire time he's basically... Meanwhile, his agent, who is... what's her name? She's a comedian. Whitney Cummings. She gets him an audition for the new Batman movie. Imagine MGK as fucking Batman. He's like... Yeah, man, I was training. I was hanging around off the ceiling like a fucking bat. Yeah. So fucking bad. But yeah, he doesn't know what she meant by it. Basically ruins his relationship by being a weirdo the entire movie. So that was awful.
Interesting.
Number 2, well, I'm skipping over everything everywhere at once. I couldn't believe that Elvis was even considered for any Oscar noms.
So
or
is
anything.
Austin Butler the problem?
No, Austin Butler's not the problem, but he didn't blow me away.
It was Baz Luhrmann, you think?
It wasn't even that. You ready what it was? It was, am I watching
My sister liked
Elvis
it.
or am I watching Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Dude, you're going to throw down a newspaper, zoom in on something, spin it around. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then you got like Tom Cruise with a pillow, or Tom Hanks with a pillow in his shirt.
And with a weird nondescript accent.
You know what's
Yeah.
funny? I think Tom Hanks in this movie is like actually like I don't think anyone like he's been in Pinocchio and this,
And he was in A Man Called Otto that
He's
year.
been in a lot
He was in a
of
lot
movies.
of
stinkers,
shit.
a lot of stinker. Like I
Well,
don't
just a
think
lot of
sorry,
work
movie
that
people
year.
know.
Tom
yeah.
Hanks was not good in this movie. I know it's Oscar nominated and Luke doesn't like it, but like it seems like he's just been like in a lot of weird bad roles lately.
Oh, and I mentioned earlier how like a film set in the past with contemporary music.
and it's funny I said Baz
that-
Luhrmann, not even thinking
That
about Elvis.
was, I mean, Elvis. You had like hip hop like
Yeah,
stuff going on. I
it's-
was like, okay, kind of like
And it's
takes
weird
me
'cause I
out of
feel like
being
that-
in
I was
that.
gonna say-
Did you see Elvis?
No, I've been thinking about watching it. Just
I just don't
maybe
care
an hour
about
of it.
Elvis, you know?
I thought you watched it, didn't you?
No.
My
I
grandpa,
thought that you did. I was
See,
No,
my
no,
grandpa
no,
used to
no.
be, before he passed, was the biggest Elvis fan. But I could see him watching this and then hitting that stuff and be like, "What the fuck is
Exactly,
this?" You know
but
what I
it's
mean? Like,
not.
why am I
It's
even,
not
like-
Elvis's story. That's the thing. It's.
You don't want to tell too
it's-
much of that.
What's his name's story? Whoever his manager was.
Oh, I
but,
see.
The play by Tom Hanks.
Yeah, played by Tom Hanks.
with
So
his
yeah.
weird accents
Yeah.
that I don't know how to do.
So that was Stinker. I'm not even gonna really talk about Hustle that much. I think
What,
like.
I'm interested because we reviewed it.
Oh,
which
you
is-
did?
Yeah, we did.
Because it's Philly based.
Which one?
Well, it's. I think
Yeah,
that's the only
Trina's
reason that
holding that
I
in my
would
head.
I would have watched something like
exactly
this is because
why
it
we
was
watched it,
you know
yeah.
a Philly based movie. But there really is nothing to the story. It's like you got a scout that just like finds this guy, brings him back, causes him trouble, and then he has to find a
I
way
think
to
the ending
reciprocate.
is pretty
or-
bad. It's just kind of like,
yeah, it is what it's like.
I mean,
it
I
is
think
what
it's
it is.
just
You're
like
on a different
cookie
team.
cutter, like
Yeah, it's
sports
yeah,
movie.
It's not
Yeah, I
that it's
didn't think
bad.
it
It's
was
just
any-
like it's like I don't know. There's
it was
nothing-
fine,
Yeah.
which is almost worse.
And also, you're gonna like convince me that Adam Sandler's married to Queen Latifah. Come on,
I
dude.
said that in the review. I'm like, I don't believe this. It just doesn't
She
make
was
it.
looking good. Though.
No, I agree. That's a fair point. I agree with that actually.
And then my last one, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with this. It's an A24.
I have
Yes,
heard
I
of
am.
this. Yes.
It wasn't the trailer. It was what I read about it, like the concept, like just. And like seeing the character, like the guy on the cover, I was like, okay, this seems like
Looks
it could be like
interesting. Yeah.
creepy and shit. Very slow, not very redeeming. Like, there's
Is it like on the nose at all, or is it
no,
just
it's
like,
not. Like you until the end, you feel like you're based in reality, like the entire movie. Like maybe somebody's just like out to get her, or like maybe all the men in this village are just like weird or something like that. Meanwhile, you kind of like get the idea that the men are all the same person. Like they all look alike. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the same fucking guy.
Yeah.
And she's not picking up on that. And then at the very end, and the thing is, like, this girl, like this woman, she doesn't. Not to say like you can't have a character that doesn't deserve what's coming to them or something like that. Like you can just
Sure.
have a character
No, yeah,
that's
yeah.
is
It's
innocent.
almost more
They
powerful
die
sometimes.
Yeah, and like she just gets hit with like the most fucked up bullshit. Like at the end of the movie, like it's the worst CGI I've ever seen. Like people being born out of like vaginas over and over. Obviously, out of a vagina is how it works. But
I thought they come out of the pooper.
but
chute.
no, there is like one point I think where the person gives birth in succession. Like there's one naked person giving birth to someone else, then giving birth to someone else over and over again, and then like she finds the man at the end before he gives birth to be like creepy, and then when this starts happening, she's like, "Oh, I'm putting it together. This is why this happened to me." You got people like giving birth like 8 times in front of you, and you're just like, chill now. You know, it was like a
Wait,
it was
yeah,
a cat
that's
and
so
mouse
odd.
chase.
So
It was a cat and mouse chase in the end. And then the cat and mouse chase turned into, I'm going to be weird now. I'm the man, and I'm going to show you all these versions of people that, like...
So is
you
this
know,
like a politically woke movie about
No,
men?
no, it's not. Not at all. I mean,
woke movie.
there was one part that kind of, like, hit hard was her ex-boyfriend. They were engaged, and I think they were engaged, and he threatens to commit suicide because she's saying they're going to break up.
Yeah.
And then he does, you know, and a lot of times, like, you know, that's just a defense mechanism
course,
to keep
yeah.
somebody around. And it's sort of like implied that nobody was really sure if it was a real suicide or if he was something happened to him. But like they show his body like maimed, like on the ground, and his hand is like there's a like a fence, one of those metal fences.
Yeah,
like
through
going
it.
through his hand, and his like leg is off and stuff. And I was like, that
Yeah.
it's kind of like creepy, and it's kind of sad, you know, that she has to like live with that. But then, you know, now that you're saying it's like politically like charged, not politically charged, but maybe it is.
No, like cultural, political,
cultural,
charged,
but
cultural bullshit.
it was just a waste of time.
Yeah, it just wasn't even. Yeah, didn't really even say anything. It just was boring. Yeah,
yeah, it was just boring.
Interesting.
Had a lot of potential.
All right,
finish us off.
So we covered 2 of them with Morbius and The Gray Man, but one movie I genuinely walked out of like really just hating was Lightyear, the animated non-Lightyear Buzz Lightyear movie. That's like. First off, they started from a place that makes no sense. It's like the movie that the toy is based off of, but we've already gotten the show.
Right.
Do you understand? Yeah. So it's just this weird premise from the beginning. Then they like try to go very deep with it while staying super Disney. It's almost like they tried to make Interstellar as a Disney film for kids.
Interesting.
It's very odd and just doesn't know what it wants to be.
See, I think that's the problem when Disney tries to do this shit.
I'm going to assume this is Pixar.
Yeah. Well, no, and they should have just. I think
it has to be. But
I don't know why they didn't just make a regular Buzz Lightyear movie that's based on like they had a Buzz Lightyear cartoon forever that was like Space Rangers and all this.
Yeah,
This like kind of starts to go towards He starts to go towards that, but then it's just so odd because like they're stuck on this asteroid, and they need to get their ship core working or whatever, and they need to test it every time. But every time he tests it, it creates like a time distortion, so everything moves forward 10 years, and he comes back. And throughout the whole movie, he's trying to get his ship working. Yes, while they're like developing their society on the planet. And then Zurg's involved.
Do you see Zurg?
You see Zurg, but then there's a whole twist with it.
Does he look like he does?
Yeah, he does. Like there's Zurg, but like it's not. There's a twist. They actually
just fucking spoil.
All right, I'm spoiling Lightyear.
I don't give a shit.
It ends up being him.
He's Zurg.
He's Zurg.
Oh my god!
Because like it's
shut
like,
the fuck
because
up.
he was
shut
still
the
practicing
fuck up.
and like he had like it was like a time dilation and he went further in time, but then he found again. It's no children's movie should be as complicated as this film was. And like
Disney again, I think Disney thinks people are smarter than they are sometimes.
Well, I think they think they are smarter than they are.
I mean, I think
like
Soul could be complicated. Or
I
just
agree,
like the
yeah,
subject
and
matter
that's
might
right.
be a little hard to grasp onto.
It just felt like this movie, like it was trying to be a bit of a kids movie, but then it was taking things super seriously. Like I said, it genuinely feels like if they tried to make Interstellar into like a Disney movie.
Okay.
It was very odd and.
Did it do very well or
no?
What
It didn't do terribly well. I don't think.
Wow.
See,
I think a lot of animated movies.
And Tim Allen is not involved.
No, he wasn't. A lot of animated
Chris
movies.
Evans.
Yeah, he played him. I think a lot of animated movies have been hit by what I call the COVID sting. Genuinely.
Yeah.
Everyone got used to. Every parent got used to just having the thing come on Disney Plus. I don't need to go to the movies. Oh, it's coming out. I'll wait for 2 weeks. It'll be out on the streaming service. And they're getting. I think they're not making that. Like I saw Puss in Boots recently. I fucking loved that.
Yeah,
movie.
people love that.
And it was only on Disney. It was only on Disney Plus. And like I'd hope people would see that in real life or in theaters. But
no, they wouldn't.
I don't know if they would. I don't know.
I think like not to say that Pinocchio was a good movie, but I think that also is to why Pinocchio did bad for the same exact reason.
Sure.
But also Disney, every live action movie they have made has been bad.
I disagree.
It makes
No, Aladdin's amazing. I love Aladdin.
Really?
I fucking love Aladdin.
I saw Cinderella.
I like Aladdin because
okay.
they do make it different enough to make it interesting, but they don't shit on the original.
You remember the Jungle Book from like the 90s?
Yeah.
And then there was two different Jungle Books. There was two different Jungle Books made at like the same time. One by Andy
Mowgli.
Serkis and
Mowgli was the other one, right? Yeah.
But no, I think Aladdin. Have you seen Aladdin?
No.
I would genuinely, if you
it.
enjoy that animated movie, I would genuinely recommend watching it.
It's funny. I think like Winnie the Pooh is probably something from like I have a lot of affinity with as a kid from Disney. Like I watch Disney stuff, but I don't know. And Kingdom Hearts is kind of like my touchstone for shit. But I don't really care about Disney for the most part. Yeah. Like I still need to watch Christopher Robin. That's what it's called, right? With,
the one. Yeah.
Like because like I'm like that sounds like fucking awesome.
And you gotta watch Blood and Honey. No.
Yeah, dude.
Don't be doing that.
Yeah, I heard it's awful. Another Disney film coming up after this was called Strange World. Have you guys even heard of this film?
Yeah, you told me about it.
I have not.
Starring Jake Gyllenhaal.
Wait a second. Is this a remake? There was a Strange World with.
It probably is.
It might be. Maybe it is. I don't know.
There's a Strange World with Brad Pitt.
Oh, maybe not.
I don't think.
Is it like kind of cartoon based but real?
It's all animated. It's all.
Okay,
go
on. I'm
Google
gonna
it,
look
but-
this up real quick.
It was an interesting world, and like this idea, the whole idea of the story is that they're living on this gigantic like being, and like they're with, and while they're going through it, it's like it's like Osmosis Jones. They're in its like biological. And is this it?
It was called Cool World. Sorry, it was Cool World.
Big flop.
Again, I think a very interesting idea that had characters and shit in it that I didn't give a shit about, and they didn't really sell me on. And it's sad because visually, I think it's actually very stunning and very cool.
And this is a Disney movie, and I think it shows to show you. It comes to show that Disney has a lot of good ones, and a lot of flops.
Well, no, for sure. Again, then I think that's the way. I mean, there was the
Has it always
Renaissance
been
for
like
a
that?
while, then it went down. I think it's been a bit more up and down with them. But the big
It's Pixar that rarely misses.
yeah.
I mean,
True.
they very rarely
Yeah.
have them.
Incredibles 2 was pretty fucking mid, to be quite honest.
It was Incredibles 1, but with Mrs. Incredible. I agree.
It was so fucking mid.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Oh
It
yeah,
was-
Bob Odenkirk
I
was
did see it. Yeah.
It just that was a movie that should have came
saw that
out
on
2
a day,
years
too.
after, not 10 years after. But either
Yeah.
way,
Yeah, agreed.
And then rounding off my list was I genuinely think the movie I hated the most this year, just despised.
I'm
Did
not
you
looking at it, so
It is-
I'm looking at
It is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Netflix
okay.
remake.
Now,
give a
question. I remember when this was in production. Didn't they have a few hiccups, like change of director, or
Did
there
they?
was-
I had no idea.
I think there was they finished a decent amount of the movie, and then there must have been like a disagreement or something in the contract. I don't know what it was, but
Interesting.
I think they scrapped it and started over with another director.
Okay.
It just was. Listen,
Nothing
I,
worse than production issues.
I violence in a movie I can take, but this was just murder porn.
Yeah,
Like it's him. Like there's one as
so did he
where he's
shove
going,
his chainsaw up a woman's vagina?
I think so. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah,
At one point, he
yeah.
might-
What was that? Okay, that happened in a movie.
I don't know,
basically.
maybe, but like there's one scene where he like goes through a bus and just chops people in pieces, and I'm like, I get it. He's a chainsaw guy.
Yeah.
This
He
is
like-
just disturbing at this
likes
point. I
chainsaws.
really, I don't know. Like I think you can use violence and show enough of it to be very impactful, but you don't need to just literally show him slowly chainsawing someone in half
Yeah,
3 times in a
yeah.
row, and like the stories.
starts.
Yeah, like I don't know.
Wait,
I
is
just
that how you
thoroughly-
feel about like Terrifier? Did Terrifier?
Oh, I didn't see. But again, that's like something that I felt like is. I get that's what that is. So I'm
Okay,
not.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna avoid that. That's not for me. Whereas, and I like some of the old Texas Chainsaw
I was gonna
Massacre
say the
definitely
first
some
one-
slasher for sure.
Well, the
but
first Texas Chainsaw Massacre is actually like a masterpiece.
that's
like,
what I thought. I need to. I would love to go back
yeah.
and watch the original, but and I don't know. Maybe
It's
it
like
was
Halloween.
as violent as that, but like it just overstayed its welcome for me. But
Yeah.
like Terrifier, that's the point of that, and I
Exactly,
understand that.
yeah.
So I'm like,
And you're
I
going in
know I'm
knowing
not
that.
going to watch that, but I know there's a crowd for that, and I mean that did insanely well, right?
Yeah, it's got its following.
Yeah. No,
and
and hey,
another one, Terrifier 2 came out last year.
That's why I think it did like insane numbers
Yeah.
for like an indie
and an
movie.
indie, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that rounds us out, guys. I think so.
Yeah, I think
Anything else on our lists?
No.
Well, that's it. The good, the bad, or well, the good, the ugly, and the honorable mentions. Doesn't work as well.
film, movie, flick.
That's it. Remember it.
Yeah, I think yeah, it's funny just to kind of
Yeah,
give a little inside baseball. Yeah, if we would have talked about the Oscars, this would have been a much different podcast.
There's
Oh,
nothing.
yeah.
And there's one that I'm just
We've been like, yeah, I didn't see this. Yeah, I didn't see this. You know, I think like we have done an Oscars podcast before, and that's kind of like what it was, where it's like we were like discussing like what won. It's just like, yeah, but I didn't like watch like a lot of this.
Yeah.
So like it doesn't really
matter.
matter.
It's not the same as the Game Awards, like where we're legitimately playing 90% of the things that are
Or-
within that.
yeah,
Yeah, like
Right,
that's-
right, and it's not like we do skip some awards or like some
For sure,
of the
no,
esports
absolutely,
stuff,
but
when that's like when it's like literally
we're usually playing 5 of the 4 Game of the Year games at least, or
Right.
all of them between the 4 of us or the 3 of us or whatever.
yeah, or
So,
whatever's on.
yeah.
Yeah, this was great.
Yeah, good time.
Yeah.
Luke, thank you for inspiring
Yes,
us.
of course.
We will definitely be doing this again next year for
I
our second
will.
annual DNNey.
Now that this is sort of established, like I'll keep up with movies this year.
No,
I have
absolutely.
to
Yeah,
watch
I'll
10
start
of them
to-
like,
yeah.
in a week.
No,
you know?
I agree.
Yeah,
That's a
dude,
good
I went
idea.
to the movies twice this weekend.
Yeah.
Dude, next week we got Are you going to see D&D? Do you think the Dungeons and Dragons maybe?
I don't know anything about it.
It looks
I
pretty
mean,
good. Again,
I
probably
don't-
more action. So maybe that wouldn't be your cup of tea, but
But I did
Definitely
see
a
I
popcorn
did see
flick.
Knock at the Cabin, and I want to say shout out. I lived right down the street on High Street where they filmed that scene.
That's awesome.
Towards the end of the movie, where
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like it's Philadelphia, but it's
Wait,
actually
on High Street, like in
in
Westchester?
Westchester.
Yeah.
right
Cool.
in front of the vape shop.
no big deal.
So many vape shops. Too many.
But guys, this has been fun. Thank you all so much for watching. If you've been with us live on twitch.tv/Delco Network, we very much appreciate you being here with us. You can find this podcast anywhere podcasts are found. Just search Delco Nerd Network. We are even on Amazon Music now. a new
Yeah,
edition.
yeah,
we got a solicitation from them.
Yeah,
and they were like, hey, they said, I think they're probably just sending it out to
Yeah, and then
everyone,
they
but-
heard me say MILF, and they're like, we're gonna have to
All right,
cut
actually,
this.
we're
We're
gonna
gonna have to
pull that
sever
one
some ties.
but yeah, so if you have Apple Music,
Jeff
which
ain't happy.
I don't know a single person who does have Apple Music, but or as their like primary thing.
Hey.
But hey, check us out on there. We are on all your social medias as well at Delco Nerds, basically on everything. We have a Facebook page, we have a Discord channel, all of which shall be linked below. You can find all this information on our website, DelcoNerdNetwork.com. You can even email us with your comments, questions, or concerns, DelcoNerds@gmail.com. We'd be happy to get back to you. But for Gooch, for Luke, I've been Trio. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay nerdy, and we will see you next time.